What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of AOS Trash Pandas. Carson is staring into the camera like a serial killer. We are joining you live. It's nuts. How's it going, Carson?
It's going pretty well. Yeah. Having a decent day. Got a tournament upcoming this weekend, which is going to be fun. How are you?
That's true. I'm pretty good. You know, it's been busy as usual, but a lot of like really good things have been happening lately. So I'm excited for the channel as well, which you know about all of them. There's one or two that not everyone knows about, as you know, but
we finally summoned our Dark Lord Cthulhu into
Yep.
the world. He
Yep.
lives in the studio with us, and the next time we film about a report, he will come through your monitors and eat your soul.
Yep. That's why I made the logo. You can see in the bottom left. People
Yep.
think it's a Kraken. It's actually...
It is Cthulhu.
It's Cthulhu. Of course it's
Yeah.
Cthulhu. Yeah. If you look at the Etsy store, it says Cthulhu Dice. It says Kraken / Cthulhu Dice.
It's Cthulhu is public domain, right?
Yeah, because it was like written in like 1915 or something like that. And so,
yeah.
yeah, I believe novels are 100 years where they're
think
public
so.
domain. Yeah, they're longer.
There's a couple things. I don't know if it's the same for like film or whatnot, but I know Disney
It's
is like
not.
really holding on to like the property rights of like Mickey Mouse and stuff like that, just because that's coming up. So
It is.
If not already. No, it's coming up. It hasn't happened yet.
Yes, Steamboat Willie is like, yeah, when was it? I thought it was like the 30s.
I think so. Yeah.
You're right. Okay. But Saga of Shenanigans coming soon. Screams like a little girl. Thanks for joining us, Ludivicus, Pat, Keith, Beefy, all y'all. Appreciate having you here. We might be fighting with, so for anyone watching this in the future, we are probably going to fight with the election that's going on tonight. In Sweden, they're having... I'm just kidding. I don't think so. That would be a crazy coincidence. That would be so freaking awesome. But yeah, there's obviously an election tonight, and so we're going to be probably fighting with that a little bit. But that's all good. You know, people can watch this in the future and or enjoy it live. We're going to be going over the Feast of Blades tournament.
Yep.
Where is the Feast of Blades?
So Feast of Blades is in Bremerton,
Okay.
which is technically west of Seattle, which sounds weird because,
Right.
as I said, Seattle is a coastal city, but there's kind of like a bay, or not a bay, I don't know what to call it, but
Inlet?
fjord, inlet, yeah, that's
Right
like
on.
actually quite large, that separates Seattle and where Bremerton is. I think there's another place like called Kingston and whatnot, but you can still drive around through Tacoma if you want to.
I see.
So it's like probably an extra hour after Seattle, I would say.
Okay. That's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad. And the
yeah.
reason why this tournament, actually, do we want to go through like our original things? Then I'll explain why this tournament is significant.
Absolutely. But first of all, I do think it's going to be a great day for Bremerton Bay. I just want to say that. And also, apologies to Keith and anyone who is trying to get away from that whole nonsense. We don't talk about anything, you know, normally we don't do anything political, and I don't believe in it. When you're coming here for AOS, I was just mentioning that, you know, it might be a little less, you know, participation than normal for our list review shows, which tend to be quite popular. So anyway, the rumor engine is up.
I'm going to come right out of the gate and say that I think that's Graveguard. I think that this is the back of like a Graveguard champion or something.
Oh, that'd be so freaking sick.
Because that's like a cape, right? With like
yeah.
a back plate on. I'm pretty sure this is Graveguard.
You know what's funny is like I should have gone. I was thinking it's a hero. I was thinking it's a vampire hero.
Yeah.
But I want it. I mean, they need new Graveguard. They need new Graveguard. They need new Temple or Source Guard, whatever we call them now. We need both of those things. Give them to me now. Yes, we don't have a confirmation, by the way. So we know that Slaves to Darkness are coming up after, well, Stormcast are out, so up next, right? And then we know that it's destruction and or sorry, after Slaves, we know it's, do we know that it's destruction and death? or we don't know anything.
They didn't really give us like an actual roadmap.
Yeah, I remember being disappointed. I just don't remember exactly why I was so disappointed. That's fair.
I would imagine. So I'm imagining in Atlanta at the World Championships 2 weeks from now, they're going to be showing off slaves. Basically, they're going to do a preview and they're going to say Slave to Darkness has got these things, and then maybe they'll say another battle tome is coming. I think that's my prediction for that.
That would be good. I feel like they need to really crank them out. To a certain extent.
They'll have done 3 in 6 months, I guess. Isn't great, but it's like, yeah,
it is like the release year. So there's like a bit of a, like there's the box set and then we've got other stuff coming. So yeah. Ladificus thinks it's Soulblight Gravelords. I think that's what, yeah. Soulblight Gravelords, Black Knights or Blood Knights. The Blood Knights we just got. So if this is the new one, but don't forget that the Black Knights and the Hex Wraiths are the same kit. So I'm not sure that. I think Graveguard. Like I actually think you might be right. Slaves has already showed off. I actually didn't realize that. Did they show off stuff for Slaves to Darkness?
I don't recall them doing that.
Right. I think they definitely showed the new book.
Yeah. They showed like the cover of the battle tome, but they didn't show like what would be coming with it in any way.
Right.
So, yeah. I know that. Yeah.
We got a commemorative model. Maybe that's what.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
That's true.
But anyway, so new sorcerer. Yeah, I think that's the commemorative model you're thinking of, Beefy.
Zarkat, Bane of Law.
I didn't remember that. Look at you.
Pesky lawmen. I'll get you. That's what he sounds like.
Get him.
I'm Zarkat.
That's actually my what's it called? What's his name? The ever chosen
Archaon?
Archaon, thank you. I was like, it starts with an A. Yeah. That was If you want to know what we're talking about, watch like some of the battle reports that are like a year or older that have Slaves to Darkness, where we used to do the intros and stuff like that. And I have a Pinhead Archaon.
New Sorcerer Lord posts on the Discord that's not Zarkat. Interesting.
Alex still banging on the drum that Kragnos is really a Beast of Chaos model. So he's saying.
Imagine if a year comes around and they're like, just kidding, Bone Splitters and Beast of Chaos are still in Sigmar. Picked you.
Oh man. Yeah. I would actually love it if they made a new Beast of Chaos army with totally new sculpts. And like they're not cowmen at all. They're like weird, like, crab monsters and like, I don't know, like insert whatever imagery you want, like something really fierce and more wild. You know what I mean? Like I don't even care what it is, like werewolves or whatever. Like I just don't even care because like the Beasts of Chaos kind of belong. They're from the old world very much so, right? So it's like Kislev. Like, what if we had kept Kislev? You know what I mean? And they're like, sorry, guys, like, we got to take this back to the old world. We're like, okay, but now here's Cities of Sigmar. You know what I mean? Or something like that. I think that would be really cool. Like, if they made like a new Beast of Chaos army, and these are like the evolved versions. Like, this is like a kind of basically a new army, but it's sort of along the same, what do you call it? Like, the same line of thinking where they're wild and crazy, true children of chaos. That would be really cool. Especially if it was like more of an elite army. But yeah, back to this rumor engine real quick though. I'm looking at it just now. Like, granted, Graveguard are very, like, they're human-sized models, right? So if this is the big backplate, why are the pigments so, like, I know it's GW paint, right? But still, like, isn't that, I think you're right, because it looks like the neck fin. So it does look like the back of a model, but I was wondering, like, is the Is the pigment too big for that? No? Just fine? Okay.
Sorry, I was looking at the thing that Beefy posted. My bad. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Like, maybe it's a little too big.
It might be. Sorry, Keith said, I just assumed that image was a Chaos COD piece. Like, that's kind of... Yo, I actually think he... Well, or maybe a Death COD piece?
Yeah, maybe. That'd be kind of funny, actually. It's
like,
that's the loincloth.
Yeah, that's the tabard, right?
Yeah.
But like...
Wait,
I can't wait till we see what this is. Because it's like, is this a crotch? Or is this a back? Like, is this like the shoulders? Or is it a crotch? Just like, wow. That is... it's a Primaris Lieutenant. I mean, that is the
I'm
traditional
also,
meme.
I hate that I brought this up. This could also be Night Lords and not AOS.
Okay, so like that was my original thought. That was actually my original thought. And then I was just like, nah, I think you're right. But did you look...
Because Alex said it's a Primaris Lieutenant in the chat. I'm like, haha, yeah. Wait a minute.
Did you look up Night Lord's iconography? Because I'm not as familiar, and it does look like that.
It's a skull with bat wings. Yeah.
God dang it.
Yeah.
You know what? This is probably a Night Lord's COD piece. Now that we're...
Probably is. Actually, and I see I see art where there's like a COD piece that actually looks kind of like that.
God dang it. Ludivicus says, trust GW to have us staring at tiny crotches and thinking it's a back. I need to get out like my like jeweler's monocle thing, start looking at it. Okay. Well, I guess we can pretty much move along. We still don't have a name for this thing, by the way. It's time for the hobby corner.
I think that's a thing somewhere else.
Damn it!
It's hobby time.
Hobby crotch. There's no way that's taken.
You're probably right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Let's hobby crotch time. What have you been working on?
I've been building my Nexus Cheutica. So it's built. And then I also decided to you can't really see it super well, but I put some like rocks and like dirt and stuff on the stairs.
Yeah.
So that
kind of, yeah.
Also like the little crevices here.
So that people don't get tempted to like actually put their models on it, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's because I like to put like lots of flowers and stuff like that on my Slaves to Darkness.
Right.
And this model has no dirt on it whatsoever. So I was like, I would like to have something in that case. And then what I did is I built it so that so it tells you to do this as a subassembly. And then what I did is I green stuffed a whole bunch of flags on the chains as if they're like swirling around.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll paint a whole bunch of little simple flags, but yeah, there's like 10 of them or something. And then that'll go on here and it'll be great.
Yeah, it looks cool, man. Good job with the green stuff.
Thank you.
I'm also going to be doing some green stuff. I'm personally working on... I basically finished off another unit of clan rats, which you can't really see, and I did the banner for this guy. I used... I had a lot of trouble painting banners before, and I don't know. I've kind of like gotten used to it to the point where it's not like as intimidating as it was before, and I think it looks pretty good. Yeah. So that's fun.
Clan rats that you have?
What's that? I have 40 totally done of the new ones. And I'm still kind of working on a few things here and there in the background. Trying to nail my paint scheme down. I was using Pro Acryl Ben Comet's Dark Sea Ben. Because
nice.
I was using what's it called before? contrast, what's it called? Griff something. It's like a dark bluey gray. And I love it. And it's like a perfect color. It's exactly what I was remember like you know the armor I did with like the warpstone kind of slashes in them? I was using that to create the base. But it's like, you know, some contrast paints work well, and then other ones are just like coffee stain nightmare forever. So this is the same color, but it's just like a normal behaving paint. It's really nice. So I could just thin it down and it just kind of works. And because like to get like a normal paint from the Griff, whatever it's called, you have to put on like 4 layers. It's kind of wild. And it's really stainy, coffee stainy. And I didn't mind it because it kind of worked in some of the armors. But anyway, this is much better. So that's what's going on there. Hobby Hoedown. I like that.
That's fun. I prefer Hobby Crotch, but that's fun.
Yeah, it's true.
Hobby Crotch is like
Crotch. Hoedown? Yes, true. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's true. It's like the corner
of your legs.
Of your crotch. Of your waist.
All right.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Keith said earlier. Was he thought it was named for each of, or was the name of each of our segments was just moving right along.
All of them. Yeah.
All of them. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and then actually, I had one thing to say about hobby. You know what's funny? It's like I've seen a lot of people recently over like the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. Like, remember before we got to AOS 4? Everyone's like, I've got no motivation to paint. Everyone's like, I'm going to paint anything but AOS right now. And no one was buying it either for like a good amount before because we all knew it was coming, right? So, and then, you know how you kind of experience that with everything? And it's kind of natural, but I think people put too much worry in it. And then, but recently, I did actually, because I normally am not that bad for painting motivation because I just don't have enough time. So when I get to paint, it's like almost like a special occasion. You know what I mean? Where I don't feel bad about it. Like I don't feel like I'm making myself do something. I put on an Audible book usually, and I listen to it and I paint, and I actually really enjoy myself for the most part. But like somewhat recently, even though I still haven't had time, I've still been feeling a little bit of lack of hobby motivation, and I got kind of like everyone else, and then. Like I had a bunch of motivation for other stuff that other hobbies that I'm into, like language learning and stuff like that. And it felt really good. And then I was just kind of like, I don't know. I just wanted to say to anyone who is struggling with that right now or in the future, like, I think the answer is don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then just try and like sit down for like 10 minutes, And then,
it's starting.
Yeah. Just sit down and just just tell yourself 5 minutes and mean it, or 10 minutes or whatever it is, whatever you think you would be reasonable. For me, it takes me a minute to get my wet palette ready and whatnot. So like, I'm usually like, okay, 15 minutes. I have 15 minutes. And then if I go longer, great. And if I don't, then it's fine. You know what I mean? But like, I think like the main thing that I'm kind of realizing is just not to worry about it. Just kind of every now and again, just do the 15-minute thing that I've been doing. That I've been doing forever. And then, the other day I felt super motivated and it was awesome. So I don't know if that helped anyone. Probably not. But there you go. Moving right along. So this week we are talking about, wait, is there anything else that I'm forgetting? It feels like there is, but
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone comes up with anything, by the way, this week's pre-orders, the Sunday pre-orders, were so bad, and like they even acknowledge it in the article. I didn't bother bringing it out because it's like, whatever, it's total nonsense. But they're like, yeah, this is a slow week, but here you go, kind of deal. And I was just like, geez, like even they said it. That's crazy. I think and I hope that they're doing the Christmas Battle Force boxes next week because. I feel like they have to because Black Friday is coming up and like they probably want people to be spending all their money on GW stuff before they spend it on other things and they can't afford their models anymore or something like that. So
yeah, I can see that.
Right. So if it's not this week, then the Saturday preview is going to be like around or slightly after. Yeah. Anyway. So Feast of Blades, Carson.
Feast of Blades. So, as we said earlier in the podcast, this is a tournament that's in Bremerton. Bremerton is quite a small town. Or I guess it's not that small, but it's like an hour outside of Seattle. There's usually like a couple tournaments here per year. Last year, it's where the PNW Masters was held. And then you have like Blue Sky Hobbies that does their tournament there as well. I think Feast of Blades is coming back after a little while of not being a thing.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Kind of like Wet Coast did this year. And it kind of seems like an unassuming tournament. You know, it's got a cap of 38 players. It's kind of a little off the beaten path. You know, it's not somewhere that you would expect people would be like traveling super far for.
Right.
However, there is one special thing about Feast of Blades, which makes it actually quite an important tournament in the Pacific Northwest. And that is that it is the last GT in the Pacific Northwest that counts towards the Pacific Northwest Masters rankings.
Wow.
So, as a result, every single member of the Pacific Northwest Masters team that went to Boston and won the North America Championships is going to this tournament, all 8 of us. And this tournament has just about a 30% rate of people who qualify for the World Championships going to it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think there's 12 people at least that have golden tickets that are going to this event that have like primary qualified for golden tickets, not even like trickle down kind of thing. The trickle down people, I don't know. Maybe there's more. But
Jeez.
This is going to be like a weirdly, extremely competitive tournament because the stakes are fairly high, right? So for those of you that don't know, the Pacific Northwest has our own private circuit where we count all of the GTs in the area towards it and the RTTs. And then the top 24 in that circuit, well, not exactly, but basically 24 people are invited to the PNW Masters final tournament. And the winner of that is deemed the PNW Master, basically. I think Matt Beasley was last year. Then the year before was Stark Pister. And I don't know what was before that.
Austere Company.
Yeah. And the reason why this tournament is a big deal is because, as I said, this is the last qualifier for it. And there's a lot of people that are kind of like either just above or just below that like top 24 mark that could be making it or not making it. And an even bigger thing is that for next year, for the North American Masters tournament, it used to be that we're just taking the top 8, basically, and just taking that chunk of people and bringing them to North America Masters. It's been changed where every person that goes to the PNW Masters tournament, like the final tournament, gets an invite. Or not an invite, but like is invited to apply to the team. So everyone that's in the top 24 is eligible. So you don't have to be top 8 anymore. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
And then, so because of that, those kind of people that are in like maybe like 16 to 24 and then like 32 to 24, that sort of range, it's actually quite a big deal for them to be able to go to this tournament, get some more points, and then qualify for PNW Masters to get a shot at basically being on the team. So it's a pretty big thing. It's like a pretty big tournament. Alex asks how many of the top 24 PNW Masters are going. I don't know. I think at least half of them.
Dang.
In the rankings, the top 4 people are going.
Sorry.
Michael Toons is going. Alex Butler's going. Chris Lemoy, Jeremy Lemoy. So that's 8. I think Joseph Sy is going, so that's 9. Jared Brown is not going. Dale Johnson's not going. I'm going, so that's 10. Stark is going, so that's 11. I don't think Will is going. Is he going? Maybe he is.
I like what Ledivicus says. If half the people already have a ticket, then those without have like a 1 in 19 chance of a ticket. Good odds. First 3-2 golden ticket, anyone?
Yeah. That's very true.
He's not wrong.
This is
That's
not
a good
golden
point.
ticket tournament. This is
Ah,
actually not a- yeah.
oh
That's
man,
true.
that's
very
so funny though.
good. So
It's kind
I
of
just
too
noted
bad. Like
16 of the top 24 are going to be at this tournament.
this is like this has
So-
got to be one of the more competitive events in North America.
Yeah, it's
Like-
it's weird that this happened, but just like
Yeah.
everyone decided like this is the one that we're going to, and it's going to be a big deal.
I choose you.
Yeah. So no pressure to the TOs to make sure that it's a good fair time. We're all going to show up, and the terrain is just going to be insane. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's like yeah, this piece of terrain's 3 feet by 2 feet, and
Yeah.
it goes in the center of the table.
And we brought a hamster for each table that's going to be moving terrain. You can charge him, but you have to move your model before the hamster moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he bites your finger, whatever model it was you were moving takes a mortal wound.
Takes a mortal wound. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you
Anyway.
can re-roll the charge.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. They're tough but fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. And tough.
Exactly.
No, yeah, this is like a weirdly important tournament. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm bringing Slaves to Darkness, which is the first time I am not bringing ogres to a GT.
That's amazing. Well, except for your very first GT, or not a GT. That was an RT. That was an
Yeah.
RT.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
So literally the first time. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yep.
excited for you, man.
It's gonna be fun.
Yep.
I'm excited. And I guess without further ado, we can start going over lists.
Okie dokie. Let me find. Boop. Okay. So I don't think. So what's funny is like right before the show started, I did like a quick test of the wheel to make sure it was going to be seen on screen. And now I can't actually tell that that's true. Yeah. Okay. We're good. And it did stop on Brent Nelson. And then I was thinking, isn't Brent from Rerolling Ones? Isn't the same guy who's like one of the founding members?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. If it's him, though, he's like one of the nicest guys in the whole scene. Just like truly. Anyway, I hope it's him, and I hope we get to look at his list. Ready and goop. I scrolled up on the. Oh, why isn't it working? There we go. Did it. Did it. Did it. Did it. Did it. Da da. Cha 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 cha. Joel Henningsen. Yeah.
Joel Henningsen coming up from
Oops.
Portland.
Yes. Okay. I got to remember to
Tunes
remove
his
him.
friend.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
Joe.
Okay. I won't say anything about the list name. But
Okay. Right. We will be. I haven't brought it up yet. So
This is actually the most important part of the podcast. Is
Yeah,
this reading list names?
obviously it is. Yeah. I think.
Hey,
that's
thank
something
you
we
so
can-
much, Jason.
Dang it! I can't see the. One second. Joe. Okay. Wait. 1 second. Roster. Okay. 1 second. Yo, thank you so much, Jason. Big Ron. Big Ron wins it. I'm glad it's at least someone. I think Big Ron's here. We don't
I don't know if
actually
he's
know.
actually here, but he's frequently here.
Exactly. Yeah. Ooh, a name I recognize received a gifted sub. Exactly. It's so crazy how it's like, it's been like that. Okay. Joe. There we go. And wait, why can't I open this? There we go. I've forgotten how to do this. Okay. Oh, God dang it. Okay.
So, fatties and raddies. Just for context, he is bringing the Skaven Regiment of Renown. That's why the raddies part is there.
Yep.
It's important.
It is important.
Just
I think-
before we give it a rating,
Oh,
what is the
right.
scale again?
Right.
So
So
we've got didn't understand the assignment. That's the lowest you can possibly.
that's the
be.
lowest we can get. Yeah.
And then at the very top is 5 out our hearts.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Anywhere in between is somewhere in the bin.
Yeah.
And we're always gonna talk about like where in the bin that is. Like garbage juice is the very bottom.
Yep.
Way at the top of the bin is like you found some like recently thrown out cheese, which is
Yeah.
real good.
Yep.
Um,
yep.
Yeah.
Maybe some like lemon.
Alex says,
Oh, sorry.
the wheel is still in the way.
I'm so sorry. I have to do a new thing because anyway. Apologies. I will try to remember to hide it each time. Multiple screens and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to go first.
Sure.
And right out the gate, I'm going to say this is upper bin.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Yeah.
Like this is close enough. It was almost a 5-0 in my heart, but yeah, it didn't like there was no like belly laugh. Like I couldn't, you know what I mean? There was nothing that like made me kind of do that. It is a very good name. It's a very good name. So he does have the Regiment of Renown, Volt Claws Engecoven, which this is very interesting. So it's got a unit of 3 Scourgers, right? And a Galvanier. And the Scourgers are 180 points or 190 points? 190 points, I think. And the Galvanier is like 140. And the Warp Blaster is like almost unusable, you know? But the interesting thing about it is that it just gives some shooting to like non-shooting armies in Chaos. So I think it's kind of interesting. You know what I mean? If that's what you're looking for. But yeah, what do you think about that? Like I remember Alex was talking about Volt Claws Engecoven as well.
What are the special effects that happen with Volt Claws Engecoven?
I don't remember because like I play this army. Like I have no intention of ever taking this.
I've got it here. It's
okay.
Once per battle in your shooting phase, you pick all friendly Volt Claw Engecoven units to be the targets. You add 1 to hit and add 3 inches to the range characteristics of their weapons until the start of your next turn. And then the passive is while a friendly Volt Claw Engecoven infantry unit is within combat range of the Rattling Warp Blaster, it's not visible to enemy units more than 13 inches away. So basically, it's just that they kind of get the same like being near Wrath rule, which is pretty nice. So they can kind of hug the Warp Blaster a little bit, and then once per game they get +1 to hit all of them, and a little bit more range. So it's kind of neat. But I think I agree.
Interesting.
Where it's like the Warp Blaster is kind of not what you want to be spending points on right now.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's not great.
Yeah, I think I honestly just straight up think they need to rewrite that War Scroll.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's going to save it. Like eventually it'll probably will go down enough in points where you're just going to be forced to take one almost. But that day is not today. Like they're almost, it reminds me of the Cruel Boys bow, the big bow, the ballista at the start of last edition. I think when it came out, it was like 150 points or something egregious. And it ended up at like almost half that. So yeah, that's kind of what I foresee for this thing as well. But anyway, what do you think about the rest of this list? I'm not super familiar with Nurgle.
So what this list is so if you look at the General's Regiment, you have Porticulus Slimux. And what that does, or what he does, is basically he can be bringing out more feculent Gnarlmaws. So he spawns more of them up to a maximum of 3. So he's just getting more faction terrain on the board. And if a Beast of Nurgle has been slain, I think he can bring one back on a 3-up in the movement phase, which is kind of cute.
It is cute.
He only has 1 Beast of Nurgle.
Exactly.
In
yeah.
yeah. You can only ever do that once.
Indeed.
The replacement unit cannot then again be replaced.
What do the feculent Gnarlmaws do?
That's a good question, Rob. Good question.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what they do.
I think you should tap your head as you're thinking and trying to recall this.
They're just recalling. It is so you pick an enemy unit at the end of any turn, you basically just roll a 4-up to give something diseased within 6 inches of it. So you're just kind of like spreading disease around.
Okay.
And then
isn't it like just something to charge though?
It is. Yeah. It's not nice to have that. It's kind of the same problem with
Can he spawn it anywhere on the board, or does it have to be within a certain range of him?
A certain range of him.
God dang it.
Yeah. So it's a little rough. But basically, so the Taliban of Nurgle basically is the more damage to disease units one. So he's trying to like splash disease all over the place.
Oh, fair enough.
And then
you know what? You could always just poop it out behind him, and then it's just like Yeah.
Well, even you poop it out like way in your opponent's face, and then do that.
But it's within a range of him, though, right?
I don't think. Let me just check.
Oh, I must have misunderstood what you just said. I was asking whether it has to be.
No, it's wholly within 12 of him and more than 3 from enemy units.
Yeah.
So still pretty close.
Yeah, it's kind of close.
And the issue is that if you set it up within 6 of someone, that's kind of like a very juicy countercharge,
right?
In my opinion. Like I would probably take that just to get extra movement in your turn, or maybe I would just try to redeploy into its range to then pile in, smack it, and then get that extra movement as well.
Well, and not only that, but I'm assuming he poops it out in his hero phase,
movement phase.
Oh, at the end or at the start, or anytime. Okay, so you could like run and then do it.
Yep. Yeah.
That's better than I was anyway. Yeah, it's still a little rough, but fair enough. Okay.
Yep. And then he's got so the one beast of Nurgle that we said, he's got plague drones, some plague bears to act as a screen. He has a great unclean one who that's his recursion basically, is the great unclean one can be bringing back Nurgle demon units.
Neat.
In his turn, which is kind of nice. It's also just a lot of wounds and it's on a 5-up. It's also pretty nice. More plague bearers for a screen. Putrid Blight Kings, which are just super solid.
Yep.
Is it even 5 of them?
Yep.
Yeah. 5 of them. So that's going to be 15 wounds on a 3-up, 5-up. It's pretty tough to move. And the Sloppy Vile Piper, which I think gives buffs to demon units, which is pretty nice. So, yeah, the only thing I think this list kind of struggles with is just that, like, if it goes on any spread map, which luckily in this tournament, there's actually not a lot of them. If it goes on any spread map, it's going to have quite a problem.
Right.
And I think that this list does not have a lot of output either.
It doesn't.
The shooting is kind
the
of
Scourgers
nice,
can get. Yeah, I was going to say, like, they can, with a little bit of luck, But yeah, I mean, on the spread map too.
Keep in mind that you're not getting the +1 to wound that we usually kind of expect from shooting.
That's so true. Yeah, that's so true because Scourgers are already hitting on 2s.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, I honestly forgot all about that because I just think about them only within my own army. Which is the one true way to play them. Anyway, it is a cool list. Best of luck to Joel. Yeah. Cool. Okay. It's going to hurt on the Vice. It really probably is, huh? Okay. So now I'm going to bring out the wheel. Boop. Wait, did I bring up the wheel? Why isn't it showing?
Why not just have them in the same tab?
Because it's like the wheel's really small if I do it on that normal,
gotcha.
Because I have to do it like half screen. It's like a whole, how the sausage gets made. Is it visible now? It is. Okay, I had to click on the actual window. Okay, here we go. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Dalton. Wait. Yep, Dalton Bush. Okay. I was a little worried there that it was. There we go. Okay, so Dalton.
Bush.
LRL.
LRL indeed. It's kind of interesting. LRL has to pivot into other things, I think, because Huracan got changed to move 2d6 instead of just move your movement.
Right.
And as such, we see 0 Huracan in this list whatsoever, which is kind of neat.
It's kind of nice.
It's kind of nice. Yeah.
I would love it if they just made, because those units are actually super cool. They're my favorite units in LRL for look and everything. I would love it if they just made them not cancer, but also playable. I know it sounds like a lot to ask, but just for a change, just try it. You know what I mean? It'd be cool. It might be cool.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So this list has, I'm probably going to go bottom up because there's an important thing to note at the bottom. But so it's Venari Battle Host, which means that's the -1 to hit. Facet of War that they can get in addition to something else. So that's pretty nice. Almost everything that they have is
Thank you.
the list name.
I love that you knew what I meant.
It is simply H.
Okay, this is an obvious, did not understand the assignment. I almost felt bad about pausing you in the middle of your explanation. I think this is, you know what I think this is? I don't know why I got blurry all of a sudden. I basically hardly moved at all. I think this person was like creating this list, and then they clicked through real quick. This is just a total guess, by the way. And then they didn't realize that you can actually edit the names later. So they're just like, it's named H, but this is my working list and whatever. You know what I mean?
My prediction is that this person created a list for every faction.
A, B, C, D. Oh!
Yeah. And this just so happened to be H.
That's funny. That's funny.
But
that's
I agree, did not understand the assignment.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so Venari Battle Host, they're going to be getting their -1 to hit. There is, at the bottom, there's a key thing. So the River Blades is what Dalton has chosen to bring. I think they got nerfed as well. I can't remember exactly how, but I think it's their jump into combat. It's like much worse from what I recall.
Really?
Let me just actually take a look because we can.
Sorry, I was reading Ludivicus's. It should have been Warpstone and years since I've seen my bone, in his opinion, for the last one. And
so they still have a teleport, but it is if this unit is in combat, it can move 2d6. It can pass. So basically, it can only jump in combat. Whereas previously, it was like, I'm going to charge something, and they were like, I don't know, 10 inches away, and they're like, we're going to flip into combat and mess with whatever you were going to do.
Right.
Now they have to have started in combat. So that's one key thing to remember. Then the Cenarian Lightner, I believe, is the one that has the ethereal spell.
Okay. And while you're looking that up, Matthew says the AOR, or the Regiment of Renown, is also cheaper than the sum of the points. He meant for the Skaven one, and that's what I was started to bring up, Matthew. But thank you for bringing that up as well. It's true. The problem, like I was starting to explain about, is that the Warp Blaster is so bad, like it's not even close. And I feel like to make the Galvanier worth it, you also need to have like at least a unit of 6 Scourgers. You know what I mean? Because then he can pop off, he can do the other thing, and then they've got their ability as well. But they're still wounding on 4s, and without the Skaven ability. I don't know. I'm not. It's interesting though, and I mean, if Alex is interested, then he saw something too, right?
Yeah. So the big thing is that the Cenarian Lightner has a spell that makes an infantry unit have an ethereal save.
Okay.
Which is really nice because he's got a unit of reinforced wardens, a unit of reinforced sentinels, some blade lords. Like there's a lot of different targets that he can use. And then another thing is that whenever the Enlightener casts a spell on a 3-up, it's once per turn. On a 3-up, you basically get to cast that spell again on the same casting value. So you can basically say like, it's only for speed of Hish, overwhelming heat, and ethereal blessings. But still, those are all really good spells. So you could basically say like, this thing is ethereal and this thing is ethereal on a 3-up in the same turn, on top of getting like your 5-up ward bubble too. So you can actually be significantly tanky with this list.
No kidding.
Then he's got a unit of 5 blade lords, which they're pretty nice. They deal good damage. They get some mortal wounds out. A unit of 20 wardens, which is like quite solid. I think if they get charged in a 4-up, they get strike first, and then because they have like this shiny weapons or whatever, they do crit mortals. Then the Cenari Caligrave with the silver wand, which I think gives +1 power level, which is pretty nice. And then a big thing is going to be that he's got these 2 big hammers, one of which is very static, but long range. It's got he's got the sentinels, which are going to be 20 shots. If he gives them power of Hish, they can have crit 5s and 6s, which I believe are 2 hits or auto wound or something. It's just like a lot of it hurts.
Amazing.
And then he's got the Dawn Riders, which if you give them speed of Hish, they're just going to be flat moving 18 inches on the charge. They're 2 damage, and then into infantry, they're going to be doing mortal wounds for impact hits. So this is a good list. It's just really, it's got like a lot of pieces, and each of them does like a pretty good job. he's got his river blades for going for like a take their land if he just wants to teleport into someone's backline or something, and they actually have pretty decent shooting in combat. They are paper thin. And then he's got like 2 big hammers, and then he's got a real big anvil with the wardens, right? Like those are going to be a tough nut to crack at -1 to hit, and probably an ethereal save with a 5-up ward. Like it's a lot.
No kidding. Jeez. Yeah, I guess it's like they're an insane nut to crack unless something goes wrong with your spell casting or something, and then you're just like, well, bye. Yeah. Sheesh. Right on. Cool. Shall I move on to another list?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So we got, take that away. And then bring, oops. Okay. Who will it be this time? Do-do-do-do. Man, it's so close every time. Jeremy Lemoy, come on down.
Mr. Lemoy, who is a member of the PNW team for NA Masters. Great guy, great player. He's playing Ossiarch Bone Reapers. So
he is. Wow. Okay. Wait. I have not pulled it up yet. I have not seen it. Catacross / Death Riders. This is definitely. I'm really disappointed in him. Yeah. Jeremy, I'm sorry. I'm really disappointed in you. I mean, we talked about the entire AOS PNW team going into the NA Masters, not really stepping up their name game. And I'm sorry to see that. No, I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, there's still some people on that team that didn't get the memo. I think you guys need to have, like, an internal, mission statement, like a meeting or something.
It's something that Matt and Jeremy Cooper didn't tell everyone, but actually you will be graded based on your name history, your lists for getting on the PNW Masters team for next year. So
thank God.
Sorry.
Someone. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's about time is what I would say. Yeah. Okay. So anyway. Didn't understand the assignment, obviously, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Not at all.
This is a pretty. It's an interesting list. There's a couple pieces that are different, but it's definitely like leaning on the Death Riders just being a very efficient war scroll.
Right.
He's not Cabalos Lance, which means he doesn't get his 6-inch pregame move with the Cabalos Death Riders, but they're still going to be going like 12 inches with the.
Pretty good.
With how fast they move, it's pretty fast. With crit 5s and 6s, if they get the spell off, it's really nice. And they're 2 damage on the charge. It's a lot of good stuff. The Tyrannic Cohort is interesting because it deep strikes onto the battlefield. It's like one of those warbands.
Oh, okay.
And it's just a pretty good like objective grabber, and they still have like the whole OBR crit 2 hits. Like it's just a really solid unit. So it makes sense for tactics reasons.
Who are they again? Is that like the Warcry warband or something?
Yeah. They had like
I don't even remember what they look like.
They look kind of dumb. but they're good. They're definitely
okay.
He's got Immortus Guard, which is going to be giving +1 ward to, I think, just heroes within 3 of them.
Okay.
And then if the ward fails, or sorry, on ward rolls of 1, they take a mortal wound. I'm pretty sure is what it is. So,
wait, on who? On the I see. So if Catacross is rolling his ward and he rolls a 1, then they take. I like that. I think that's a pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, but it brings Catacross's ward from a 6-up to a 5-up.
Very important. Very strong. Very good.
Also, Devin says, I named my list for the RTT I'm going to this weekend just for you, Carson. Well, please share the name of the list in the chat, and we will
absolutely
judge it accordingly.
Yes. And why just for Carson? Yeah. I'm just as much a part of this name game as anyone.
That's true. What does the Vortex Crawler do?
It shoots, Carson. You should know this by now.
Oh, sorry. I got it mixed up with the Gothazar Harvester. I know that it shoots.
Sorry. Yeah. I thought you were... I was joking. I knew that you knew that. I thought you meant like... Because it's always had special abilities and stuff like that. Yeah. So
no, it's
What's its range now? It used to be like 36 inches and it moved something stupid, and now it's like
It
I think
moves
it's like
5 inches and it's 24 inches, so it's still
okay. It's
very
still
far.
like one of the farthest ranged weapons in the game. Because like
Yep.
Kurnoth hunters were 30 inches and now they're like 18. So
yeah.
yeah.
And then so its big thing is basically it can on a 4-up give strike last to something that it shot at, essentially.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
and that's
assuming
any-
it's pick one thing
yes.
that you shot at, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Pick an enemy unit that was targeted by all of this unit's shooting attacks.
Okay.
This phase
Even
to be
better.
a target. Roll the dice. Add 1 if it's wholly within 12 inches of a friendly Mortis and Os effector, which there's not one in this list.
Okay.
So it's going to be on a 4-up. Basically, you give something strike last. So it's really nice if something's charging into you, because you counter shoot with it, and
Right.
then regardless if you do any damage whatsoever, it's just do you roll the 4-up, do you get strike last, and you just mess up your opponent's entire turn.
And it doesn't
The
say
only-
in your shooting phase, I assume. Nice.
Nope, any shooting phase.
Wow.
Yeah. It's also really nice because it's just kind of like a win more thing, where it's like, let's say
Yeah.
you're charging both of your units of KDR, and you're saying, I want both of my guys to basically activate before you activate it all. And then it allows them to make a decision of like, if I put both in and whatever they're going into doesn't have strike last, then I'm going to lose one, basically, or I'm going to lose
Right.
too many of one that I would not want to lose. So you can make the decision to just put one in if you don't get the strike last. But because you can make the decision after you're charging after the shooting phase, you get to kind of like make an informed decision about whether you want to put everything in, which is really nice. So I don't know, it's neat. I like the tech. Then
Yeah.
he's got the Lore of Ossian Sorcery, which I believe has like the -1 ward spell, which is really good.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a solid list. I like it. Jeremy's a really good player, and I'm sure he's going to do well. So yeah.
He is a very good player
Or Hordes
of
the
Age of
Necropolis
Sigmar.
Star. Yeah.
What about Hordes of the Necropolis? What was that?
That's the manifestation lord, not Ossian Sorcery. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah. He just needs to work on the name game. I hope you'll have a talk with him.
Yep.
Okay. In Carson, we trust to have a talk. Okay. Do-do-do-do. Ba-da-ba-ba. Okay. What do we got? Carson Whitlock! This is great. I'm actually glad because like you're taking something new, so it's not like okay, he's gonna explain his same thing again.
The 5th time,
Yeah.
100th time. So Devin I'm going on a witch hunt. The name of your list before we judge it, and then while you answer that, we'll take a look at my list.
Wait, before that we're talking. Wait, which one are we doing first?
We'll
We're
wait for
looking at-
him to respond,
Okay.
but
okay.
we'll find my list. Yeah.
Your list is found. I have not seen this list name. You didn't.
Okay.
You didn't send it to me ahead of time. I don't know.
Okay.
And
it is.
there's some
So
other
Devin-
stuff going on in the chat. Okay. Wait.
It's
What?
a city's list, and it's called "We're Going on a Witch Hunt." I assume that's because Callus and Toll deal extra damage against manifestations and wizards and stuff.
Right.
So
right.
I like
And maybe, and he might have the the father-daughter combo.
is that Neve Black? No, that's
Dorelia.
yeah, Vendanced. Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
maybe
Because they're witch hunters too.
Jake did not approve of the list. Oh no.
So wait. So. Okay.
I'm going on a witch hunt. I'm going to say mid bin.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, 'cause I
It's a
think
solid. It's solid.
You know, you understood the assignment, but
Yeah. And it's
a
and you
little
didn't
obvious. You know,
you
It's a
didn't
little-
you didn't hit the bump and get in. You know, you're not in the garbage juice. You're just like, where stuff is starting to ferment in the middle of the bin.
Yeah.
Solid. It's a solid one. And the Van Dens. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool. So
Nice.
So yeah. And we're tough graders. We are tough graders in terms of lists, right? List names.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of,
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Wait, what?
So
God, there's a full explanation here. Okay, once again. So
it's not an
creme.
explanation, it's part of the name. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Creme de la creme liqueur, but pronounced like liquor. So
Liqueur.
creme liqueur. Okay.
Yep.
Like creme liqueur. Certainly not. I can't believe. I cannot believe that it even allows you to make a name this long. That's a paragraph.
Creme
That's
de la
insane.
creme liqueur, but pronounced like liqueur. Like cream liqueur? Certainly not Bailey's. That is my unhinged list name.
It is unhinged, and I do like unhinged. Oh man. So okay. So Carson is obviously disqualified from rating this.
Yeah, we need the
Okay.
audience to win in this one, for sure.
We need to could you make a poll? Right? It's obviously didn't understand the assignment. You understood the assignment. So could you put lower bin, mid bin, upper bin, 5-0 in my heart? And I'm going to say my opinion, which I've already made up. I can write it down if people don't believe me. Too many words DQ'd. Matthew is a very tough grader. My God. just you're out. Sheesh. Okay. All right. I forgot you had to, you're the one making the polls because stupid Streamlabs won't let me do that. Go to hell once again, Streamlabs.
The poll has started.
Okay. And I'm not going to vote in this because I am going to give my opinion after you explain your list, after we have figured out where it is going.
All right. So the list is, it's me being a special snowflake with all of the standard stuff as well, where basically it's very expected that you see Bellacore and then you see either 2 groups of Varangard or 1 group of Varangard and 10 chosen. That's like extremely predictable, like what Slaves tends to bring. After that point, you kind of have a little bit of wiggle room with what you want to bring. Some people argue that maybe you do a 1-drop list and you don't have like any other wizard other than Bellacore. Some people do like Chaos Knights and other stuff. But what I've done was, in addition to Bellacore, 6 Varangard, and the Chosen, I've taken a Chaos Sorcerer Lord just because it's really good. I think if you're doing 2-drop, you kind of have to because he can be giving out a 5-up ward and he's just another cast. And he holds the artifact and the heroic trait. And I think it's really important when you're going into Tzeentch or like any army that's got like these debuffs that rely on you not healing, to have a heal every single hero phase.
Right.
Because if you have something that's burning on a 3-up, it's not burning anymore. And then you can rally it. Or like and that's just happening every single turn. So it's really nice to have that sort of thing. Or diseased, or maybe you just want to be healing. Because he flat heals 3 Bellacore and the Vortex Beast. And speaking of, the Vortex Beast is like my pet pick, just because it's weird, but it's like techy and I like it. Yeah. First thing is that it moves 10 inches, so it can actually take the flanks turn 1 without having to run.
Okay.
Second thing is it basically has an effect where every single combat phase, it picks an enemy unit within 12 inches. It doesn't have to be in combat. It just picks an enemy unit within 12 inches and you roll a d6 and something happens. It could be anything from, if you roll I think like 2 doesn't really matter. It's like minus control score. If you roll a 1, it does nothing. 3 is no commands for the rest of the turn, which is huge. Jeez. 4, I think, is -1 to your move characteristic for the rest of the game. And then 5 is D6 mortal wounds, and then it heals D6 mortal wounds.
What?
So if you roll a 6, you get to pick any result that you want, which basically means you actually have a 1/3 chance of getting whatever option you think is good.
That's true.
On top of that, if it's wholly within 12 inches of a Tzeentch wizard,
which you have,
I get to roll 2 dice and I pick 1.
Whoa.
Which effectively means every individual good result that I want.
That's fun.
I have a 55% chance of actually getting like a result.
That's really
like a specific
fun.
Result. And so what that means is that I'm quite consistently either shutting off commands or dealing D6 mortals to something. Right. And it has on its war scroll, it heals D3 every single hero phase. So, which means that if it's near my Chaos Sorcerer Lord, probably healing 3 plus D3 every single hero phase. So it's like you have to actually allocate something to killing it. I just really like it for like a grind where like you have a bunch of chosen in combat and that's just sitting behind. It's just like pinging stuff, like shutting off commands, being like super annoying the entire time. So I like it a lot. And then the second pet pick that I have is Chaos Legionnaires, which in your movement phase, so you can do this after they've like auto run or something.
Yeah.
You pick an enemy unit within 6 inches of them, and on a 4-up, they can't use commands for the rest of the turn.
Dang.
So that's also really good.
That's really good too.
The nice thing is that I can move them first, roll the 4-up to see if I get it, and then structure my whole movement phase around that afterwards.
Dang.
Because if I roll that 4-up and all of a sudden one thing can't counter shoot and it can't redeploy, I'm like, cool, I'm just going to throw everything in that direction, knowing that you can't redeploy away and you can't counter shoot me to punish me. So, and they're a 90-point screen, basically, that does that. Jeez. So I'm like, sure.
90 points. That's insane. Yeah. I'm assuming they're like 10 wounds.
It's 8 wounds on a 4-up. So.
Oh, okay. Are they another like one of those weird like Warcry kind of units?
Yeah.
I see. Huh. I mean, like that's actually insane though. Like 90 points, like just for that ability is insane. Yeah. And by the way, I brought up a picture of the Mutalith Vortex Beast. This unit looks amazing. This is like, it's kind of old, to be honest. I think it was like 7th edition 40K or something it came out, or maybe even earlier. But it's such a cool old model. It reminds me of the Tyrannid, what's it called?
The Toxicrine?
No, the one with the maw. And it's like shooting out like another like mouth like grabber thingy. Oh my god, I love it. Haruspex.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's very kind of similar in design, except for the Haruspex doesn't have like this grasping arm, which is kind of the only thing I'm not a huge fan of this model is the weird like arm. Like what's that arm doing? Is it going to catch a ball or something? That's what it looks like. Anyway, other than that though, the model is freaking unreal. I can't wait to see your paint job on it. Okay. I actually really like your list. I think it looks like a lot of fun, both to play and paint.
Yeah, it's got 2 like crazy hammers.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of like control around it.
Yeah.
Because obviously Be'lakor has got fight first and shutting off a unit and stuff like that.
And he slaps pretty good too.
Yeah. And he's fast.
And he's fast. Yeah. Like he's so awesome. And he's like one of the cooler looking models in the entire game.
The only thing is that this list hates going on spread maps. Like Scorched Earth, I'm like, ugh, and unluckily Scorched Earth is one of the missions in this GT.
Yeah.
And everything else is pretty good.
I can see it. Yeah. I mean, the other thing too though is like spread maps don't bother you if you just kill their whole army and then like and make some of the rest of their army, useless or something with Be'lakor.
It's like a combination of if I'm playing a spread map against someone who's like very mobile, I'm like
that's fair.
It's a problem. Yeah.
I can see that. Okay. The big reveal. Would you kindly end or actually, can I do that? I can do that. So I've ended the poll. The results are in, and they said mid-bin, which is that's a solid rating. Okay. I am going to have to disagree with the chat. The next most popular one, it should be said, by the way, is 5-0 in our hearts. Right? So, if like 5-0 in our hearts is like a 9 out of 10, we haven't really found our 10 out of 10 naming system yet. But like, let's just say that's a 9 out of 10, right? 5-0 in our hearts is a 9 out of 10. Okay. And then mid-bin is like what? Like that's like a 6. Like no. Yeah. 6 or 6 is it? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
A 4
out of 5. So it'd be a 3 out of 5. Because it's like didn't understand the assignment as a 1, lower bin is 2, mid bin
Oh,
is
I see.
Yeah.
Right. So we just double whatever that is. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, right? Then I feel like if we take the average of those two things, right? We get to the upper bin, which is where I landed ultimately. I think it is upper bin for sure. And I should also make a disclaimer that you and I made many videos together where our stupid, incoherent humor matched perfectly well in videos that very few people have ever seen because they were on Patreon and YouTube. Actually, if you're members, we have a lot of members now. You can actually just go and just watch the openings of those videos. You should be able to. They're very stupid, but awesome. So like all that to say, like your humor is very similar to mine. And so therefore I have, this is an easy upper bin for me, to be honest. Yeah.
Fair. Also, I swear I read it in Beefy's voice where he just said, not slimy bottom of bin, not the fresh top of bin the dog would eat, the nice mid bin. I like heard his voice going through my brain saying that.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Beautiful.
And Keith says too many words. My brain hurt halfway through.
Fair.
There's also like French in there. Yeah. Very disturbing. Yeah. Ugh. Anytime there's French in there, you're not going to get a 5-0 in our heart, right? It's just not possible. And Alex says, I didn't vote because I couldn't read it on my mobile. I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway, so I guess we'll move along to the next one. We have, I need to pull up Wheel of Names. Feast of Blade Edition. Mason Knox. You son of a gun. Woo! I love the guy who comes in at the end after that and goes, woo! You know what? It's okay. So Mason Knox. I have not looked at the name yet. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay.
The name of the list is The Amber Herd.
I was just about to ask, why are we laughing? I'm not really sure. Like,
Amber, you don't know who Amber Herd is?
Oh, God dang it. God dang it.
I'm not going to, it's a pun.
Oh my God. No, I get it. Yeah. Oh, that's actually way better than I realized, obviously. Yeah. Because it's actually, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Mason. And I might be explaining like the second part of the joke. Like, so like part of Beasts of Chaos lore was that they run around in their own excrement and stuff like that and whatever. Yeah. So it's like a double entendre. It's pretty
quite
good.
It's quite
good.
It's
very good. Okay. So you've been unbanned from naming lists again after this really long time.
Upper bin, for sure.
Upper bin. I think is an easy upper bin. I was like, honestly, I was like, he clearly understood the assignment, and I was like, it's a P joke, which I was like thinking min, but then at the end there, after you kindly explained it, it's
good. It's real good.
You just all you had to say is you don't know who Amber Heard is, and I was like, oh my God. Anyway, if you'd said like Amber Heard was an actress or whatever, or is an actress or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Then I would have been like, oh, like now I just feel stupid. But yeah. Anyway.
The name does have layers.
It has layers.
The 5-0 in his heart. It's good. It's real good.
It's really good. I'm not going to read Alexander's comment, but I love it. Okay. Good old Midwest friendly voice. Yeah. That sounds like you, Beefy.
Yep. So this list, Marauding Grey Herd, I believe, is the one where a Bestigor unit can change one of the dice in the charge roll to a 4, which makes their charges very, very reliable. Because they can be popping out of the woods outside of 9, and I think they have +1 to charge when they do it. They only have to, one of the 2 dice has to be a 4 in their charge roll in order to make the 9-inch charge that they need out of the woods.
That's so cool.
So it's very, very reliable. And then on top of that, this list is just 160 wounds on a 4-up, where it's that you can't actually interact with until he chooses to come onto the table.
Right.
And then he's got the Brave Blast Trumpet, which I believe is that's the on a 4-up he can bring back half a unit that died. So he has even more wounds that he can be bringing back, which is kind of crazy. And then he's got some Ungors for tactics, and that's pretty much it. He's just spamming Bestigor.
Yep.
To his heart's content.
Yep.
It's good. Yeah. And then if he's got the Herdstone with an 18 at the center of the battlefield, I think from battle rounds 2 onwards, he's got +1 rend, which is really nice. So you got to make sure to kill that for sure. Otherwise, they're rend 2, those Bestigors. It's just really good. They're extremely efficient war scrolls, and any shooting list really hates this because Bestigors are -1 to wound against shooting.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
I mean, I guess they're not that hard to kill either, but still, there's so many wounds here.
It's just it's an insane amount of wounds.
Nuts.
Yeah. He's got the Forbidden Power Manifestation Lore, which means that he can be teleporting with the bridge, which is pretty nice.
Right.
He's got the Latch on the Soul Seeker, which is just fast and could pin something perhaps. He's got the Horror Ghast, which can be shutting off commands if it rarely does, though. It's pretty rare that it does that. It's a very good list. I think I played almost this exact same list at NA Masters.
Okay.
And everything, I pretty much got everything I wanted in that game, so it was like not a good representation of what this list can do, but this list is scary.
And Mason's a very strong player, so
yeah,
really like it. He also said the name is like art; it means different thing to different folks. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, like I don't know if he could possibly have planned out the name, with the lore and Alexander's comment, I don't know if he did all that. If he did, I feel like it actually should be a 5-0 in our hearts. But that's so many layers. I don't think most people would think in that many layers of a name for Age of Sigmar. But I could see Nick Mason being one of those few people. Right on. Yeah. Well, we'll move on to the next list. Good luck, Mason. Thanks for joining us in the chat.
I'm giving it a 5-0.
Yeah,
I'm changing my vote.
Yeah, I think so too. Even if I was just thinking, even if he doesn't mean that, it's just, I don't know. It's I don't know. I can't think of a better name than that. So, yeah. Good call, Carbson. I'm glad one of us had the courage to say what they were feeling. Yeah. Okay. That is the name to beat so far. But can Matthias be the one to do it? We will see.
A lot of big names popping up.
Matthias is a funny guy too, so I could see him doing it. Matthias. Oh, Ossiarch Bone Reapers. Not a good sign.
Nope.
Okay. He also has the same similar silly ass humor that we do.
Yeah. His list name is a 1+ armor save in this CP economy.
It's pretty good. I don't know. I honestly,
this one's not a 5-0.
It's not a 5-0. It's immediately
good.
Not a 5-0.
Yeah. To split hairs, I would say this is upper mid bin.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's so funny.
I enjoy this.
I enjoy this too. Yeah. I'm going to let it marinate if that's okay.
Sure.
I'm going to let it marinate. Yeah. It's on the cusp. Yeah, exactly. In the bin, as it were. Indeed. I like that.
As we says, the name feels forced. Fair. That's fair.
Ooh.
It's not good. Not good.
That's not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things are not looking great.
So he's OBR. The first thing I noticed is that he's 4 drops, which is a little rough. He's basically going to be losing the drop war every single time. However,
Matthias is kind of known for not caring about drops, though, and making lists that don't care. Like
that's fair.
traditionally in AOS,
Yeah.
3 especially.
Yeah. So the big thing is that he's brought the Sterniest Garrison Regiment Renown to this one. And the key thing to note here is that it's got 2 groups of 3 Felbats. It's got a unit of 10 Graveguard, and then it's got Manfred von Karstein. I think on his War Scroll, he has the redeploy into combat thing. So that's something that you still have to be really careful about. If he has his Felbats like near his front lines, they can be redeploying into combat with you, which is pretty spooky. Unless I misunderstand. And that Regiment Renown can teleport one thing 6 inches away from you. In I think the hero phase. And if it does teleport, that thing gets +1 attack. Which means he can just be putting Graveguard 6 inches away from you at +1 attack, so it's going to be 31 attacks. And they're pretty scary. So yeah.
Alrighty then. Wait, so he can still give the Graveguard +1 attack, hey?
No, that's the regiment specifically that does it. When the thing teleports, then then whatever teleports gets +1 attack, basically.
Cool.
Also, Manfred, I just want to check to see if his +1 attack would count. It is. Yeah, it's just add 1 to the attack's characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly Death Rattle and Death Walker units while they're wholly within 12 of this unit. I think that would still count.
Interesting.
I think they would have be up to 4 attacks if Manfred kills something. So
what's crazy though too is that it's 700 points.
It's a lot. Yeah.
But
Manfred is a really good War Scroll.
Yeah.
Graveguard are great unless you have shooting. Then they're not good because they'll just get shot. They also can't come back, which is kind of rough.
Yeah.
And then the Felbats are just really good objective
They
grabbers.
are. Yeah, no, that's true.
He doesn't care if they die on a flank or something like that. Like it's just really good. Then his general is Catacross, who's got a Mortis Guard with him for the same better ward save. He's got a unit of 10 Death Riders, which is just really good on the charge. He has a Mortisan Bone Shaper with the Aura of Sterility, which I believe is the -2 charge aura. So it's, let's see, Aura of Sterility. Nope. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. That's -1 to wound for shooting attacks. So he's kind of doing like a defensive anti-shooting build. I think he's kind of covering his bases. Does that apply to the Sterniest Garrison? No. It's just Ossiarch Bone Reapers units. So he's kind of got a castle that's made out of like Catacross, the Immortus Guard, and the Bone Shaper. And then he's got this unit of Death Riders, which can be going out and slapping something pretty hard. And then he's got the Sterniest Garrison, which can be kind of anywhere on the board, just teleporting and killing a bunch of stuff. So it's an interesting build. But
right.
I remember I did talk to Matthias before, and he said that he doesn't know how he feels about it just because he typically plays very hyper aggressive lists, and this is much more defensive and like conservative. So like it's
a little control-y and yeah.
So
it's interesting.
We'll see how it goes. He's also got Horrors of the Necropolis, which is the -1 ward save, and the spell is really good. So yeah,
right. You know what's funny is that you should say that is because I was thinking the same thing. Like I don't get this list fully. Obviously, I mean I don't play Ossiarch Bone Reapers, but like I was just like I don't really know about this list either, you know. And then you said that, it's funny, kind of funny. Yeah, good luck to Matthias. He's obviously an extremely good player. So yeah, and it's cool that he's doing his own thing. I really like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have to give a final rating. I'm going to say mid-bin.
Okay.
I'm going to say mid-bin.
I think I agree with that. Mid-bin. Yeah.
Yeah. Once it kind of like the Amber Heard one was something that like the more it marinated, the funnier it got for me for some reason. And this one was like, okay, like now that the effect has worn off, it's like it's like an old movie you like to watch, you know. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
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 Okay. Oops, I just accidentally opened up another window and got blinded, and it's taking forever, so I can't even close it. God dang it. No, I don't want to... God, okay. Sorry, everyone. That was brutal. Okay. So, the wheel is currently spinning, and I'm not singing the song again because I'm getting tired of it. Alexander Gonzalez.
I'm glad we landed on Alex Gonzalez because he specifically mentioned to me before the show that because of our show, he has stepped up his naming game. So,
I can't wait.
Also, I just wanted to be known that out of all the lists we've reviewed so far, which hasn't been that many, we've already covered 4 golden ticket winners.
Jeez. Amazing. Okay. Pat says low bin for the last one. Matthias, look out.
Yikes.
Oh,
Yikes.
man. Yeah. Okay. Alexander Gonzalez. Ghost emoji. Hold on to your booty. It's about to get spooky. Another ghost emoji. He's playing directly into our humor, Carson. I feel taken advantage of. I feel exposed at this point. It is a night haunt list, which I think should be, pointed out before anyone starts naming names and giving ratings. Please go first. I would like to hear your thoughts. I'm still really figuring this out.
I like it. I appreciate the effort, but I don't think it's like specifically my favorite thing. But I appreciate the effort. I would say it's like mid bin for me. It's like you understood the assignment. It's comfortable. It's good. Yeah.
I agree. It's starting to reach the upper bin. It's like, it's not like right in the middle. It's not in the dead center of the bin. It's like it's reaching for upper bin.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between mid bin and upper bin. It'd be like a 6.5 instead of a 6, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I think, I do like the ghost emoji. I appreciate them. Yeah. It's like a little bit of flavor. Okay. Night Honk Death Riders, or Death Stalkers rather. So it's changed. Now it's 1 unit.
It is.
It can run or retreat and charge.
Yeah. Shout out to Alex for bringing less than 20 hex wraiths, I guess. He's only brought 15. He's got a unit of reinforced hex
very
wraiths.
Conservative.
5. Yeah. Very, very kind of you. Then he's got almost every Night Haunt player is bringing Ulrak the Drowner now, just because he gives you a outside of 7 teleport, which is just super nice.
Yeah, that's good.
He can be going into something as well as whatever he teleports with, and he can be giving them strike last, which is super solid. He has a block of 20 Bladegeist Revenants, block of 20 Bladegeist Revenants. Are the Grimghast Reapers block of 10 or 20? Grimghast.
By the way, Ledivicus's comment, I have to read it to you. He says lower mid for the name, right? Would be better as a haiku. Oh, man. I think Ledivicus is probably...
There'll be 20 models in that Grimghast Reapers unit. And in addition to that, he has... So basically, if they're attacking anything of like 5 or more models, it's crit 5s and 6s, so auto wound on 5s and 6s. So
nice.
On 40 attacks, that's a lot of auto wounds. And then
it is
anti-infantry +1 red, which is really good.
Yep. They've always been that kind of unit,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Then he's got, I think, the Cairn Wraith. What does the Cairn Wraith do? Is that another anti-infantry thing?
I don't remember now.
Cairn Wraith is +1 attacks to melee weapons used by friendly Grimghast Reapers wholly within 12. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he can be having those Grimghast Reapers on 4 attacks each.
Right.
Once per game.
You know what's funny about the Cairn Wraith is he's on a 25 millimeter base and they're all on 32s. It just kind of looks weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if that Grimghast Reapers unit gets in, if the Cairn Wraith is also in combat, then that's pretty good. The only thing is that this is one of the few moments where Deathstalkers actually affects Night Haunt like the change affects them negatively, because getting both of those in might be a little harder. They both do still move
Right.
8, which is still pretty good, but you can
Yep.
only run one of them. So getting that combo off
Right.
is like a little less likely. But this is
Right.
good. Yeah, it's just a lot of. He's going for a more DPS build for Nighthaunt, just because he's got all these Blade Geists and he's got the Grimghast Reapers for just shredding infantry. So still a scary list for sure.
Another option too, though, is Alan the Downer, as he is colloquially referred to, could teleport the Cairn Wraith with him outside of 7, and then the Blade Geist, or not the Blade Geist, the Grimghast could run up, and then you're getting 3 charges off potentially, and Strike Last, and a crap load of attacks.
Yep. That's
one
very true.
possibility. Yeah.
Pretty scary.
Yeah. And it's a cool looking list, and he's got a lot of variety here, and yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, because once per game, the Grimghast would be on 80 attacks. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
They're
there's 3
fives.
normally, right? Yeah. Wow.
No, there are 2 normally.
Okay.
3 with the Cairn Rate.
Yeah.
4 with Ruler of Spectral Hosts.
Oh.
Once per game. So there are 3
Right.
most of the game. 4 when he
Jeez.
pops the Spectral Host, which is also on the Cairn Rate. So he's definitely trying to set that up. So real good.
That's crazy. And then just an insane amount of like, yeah, or like a really strong amount of rend as well.
Yeah. And
Still-
to that I say, that's getting Bellacord.
He's not wrong, folks. He's not wrong. Okay. Wait, now, does Bellacor's ability, I assume it does, but does it affect people's ability to fight?
Yep.
But like,
It's on a
you
3
have to
so you-
fight.
No. So how it works is you have to opt to choose to use an ability, right?
Oh,
And then
okay.
on a 3-up, you can't do it. So
Wow.
you have to express the desire to run
Right.
before you know if you can even do it or not. Right?
Right. So, but you couldn't you theoretically teleport them with Alan?
Yes. Yeah. Because that's his ability.
That's his ability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you would roll the 3-up to see if they charge.
Right.
And then you roll the 3-up to see if they fight.
That's crazy.
So you probably wouldn't teleport them if they're Bellacord, just because
Can-
it could leave them stranded.
For sure. Now, could you use them? Can you use all out defense, or is that an ability as well?
Uh,
Because that's a command, right?
the specific wording is. Yeah, let me just read Bellacor's thing.
Sorry, I didn't
Specific
want to.
wording is until the start of your next turn, each time the target is picked to use an ability,
Okay,
roll a dice as a reaction. On a 3-up, that ability has no effect.
that ability.
Yeah, which means, and using a command is an ability,
Right.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
which means I think that that's the case. Is
What
that you
happens
can-
to the CP? I guess you don't use it because you're not doing it.
It just says it has no effect.
Oh,
So I think you
jeez.
still use the CP.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
However, that
No
it
wonder he's
very
so ubiquitous
specifically-
right now. God dang.
Yeah, just remember that like they have to be the ones using it.
Right.
So like there's other things that could be happening, like maybe they're getting a buff. Like for instance, all the stuff that the Cairn Wraith does for them,
Yeah.
that just happens.
It just happens
Right.
because it's his ability, right?
Yeah, it's his ability.
That makes sense.
Allrack the Drowner, same thing. He teleports them. That's it.
How much
Yeah.
is Bellacour?
He's 400 and something.
Damn. 400 not enough. How about that?
Yeah. He's probably he's 440 is what he is.
440. My God.
Yeah. He's very
He's 10 points less than Visic.
yeah. He's
And
like,
an ethereal save, by the way. My
yeah,
God.
he's like one of the most auto take things, I think.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
he's in my opinion he's the best like single war scroll.
Single war scroll. Yeah, that
the
makes
game.
sense. Yeah, I think you're right.
It's
And
'cause
he
it's
looks.
not only that, but he gives things fight first as well, right?
Wow,
Like I can sit at
damn.
the center of the table and be like, "Do you want to charge my chosen Baron Guard?" They might be fighting first. Like
Oh,
on a
man.
4-up.
Oh man. Okay, here's my wish. and no one's going to agree with this, okay? I just want to preface my statement with no one's going to agree with it. Give Be'lakor a regiment of renown, okay? So that I have a reason to paint him and I can take him in my Skaven army. That's what I want. Make it happen! It's such a cool model. I don't want to have to buy an entire army to play with that cool model. Is that too much to ask?
That's fair.
Right? Okay. Moving right along. Actually, I guess, so wait, have we talked about, yeah, we talked about this, right? Okay. Enough, right? Okay, cool.
Yep.
It's a cool list, and I really like it. I think it has a lot of tech, and it's very interesting. So, good luck to Alexander. Oops. Chrome, and then the list, or the wheel. The wheel is currently spinning, Carson. It's definitely spinning. Joseph.
It could be 500 and people would be like, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Like totally worth it still. Joseph Tsai. Okay.
Joseph Tsai.
And
Dimensional
then.
Cascade member.
Uh-oh. One of them, huh?
Playing the Stormcast Eternals.
Okay. Boop. Okay.
Yawn. No.
So.
Feast of the Dead.
Feast of the Dead. I think it's mid-bin.
What's the context here?
Well, because it's not. Oh, for the. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a reference to the Michael. Well, it's not a Michael Crichton novel. It's like a, or it's a Michael Crichton novel, but it's based off of the journal off of a man from Baghdad, I believe. Like over 1,000 years ago. But because Eaters of the Dead, Feast of the Dead. I'm not really sure. Because that might be what the reference is, because they're like these warriors and whatnot, right? Like maybe he's kind of going from a bit of like a Viking.
The wheels above the list. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get to the name before, so I could react to it organically. Apologies. Yeah. I mean, I just think it's just like a cool name. Like he didn't like not everything has to be like a joke, right? You know what I mean? Like it could just be a cool name,
Yeah, that's true.
So I think
that's
mid-bin.
lame. So no.
So failed.
I would say lower bin.
That's fair. Yep. Yeah. I mean, like it. Like obviously the ones that are funny are going to.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah, it's kind of what it's all about. So, but he has a name, and good on him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he understood the assignment.
Yeah, he didn't understand the assignment.
Juice, I think.
Fair enough. In Carson's opinion, solid garbage juice. Yeah. I like the novel, based off of the journal. So I'm gonna say, yeah.
I appreciate the lore. But didn't ask. So
once again, Carson did not ask. Right on.
So he's playing Sentinels of the Bleak Citadels, which I think is the 5-up ward to whatever keyword the prosecutors have. He's got Tornus the Redeemed, which I can't remember what he does, because we haven't done the Stormcast review yet.
Yeah, right. That's coming next week, by the way, unless things go colossally wrong once again.
So he gets +3 dice for Ruination Chamber rally rolls.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. He's got some Reclusians. He's got some Prosecutors. It's pretty good. Then any combat phase, roll a dice on a 3-up, pick one of the following effects. Either subtract 1 from hit rolls while they're in combat with this unit, or heal D3 each friendly Stormcast Eternals unit within his combat range. So, okay. And then he has like 1 shot that does D3 damage, and then he's got the standard 5 attacks, Ren 2, 2 damage profile. So He's not a wizard. Meh.
Yeah, I just I don't know.
Meh.
Yeah, fair.
Fine.
Um,
And then he's
yeah.
got the recluse, or he's got the ruination rule where he can ignore a thing on a 4-up,
Right on.
which is pretty nice. Which almost all of these will have. I think the Reclusians will have. The Prosecutors will have. Everyone in that regiment has that. He's got some Vigilers, which I think are the bow dudes who can give +1 to hit if they deal damage to something. He's got a unit of 6 obligatory long strikes. He has a Night Vexillor, which is going to be the +1 to chant priest to be able to like teleport things around a little bit better.
Right.
The 6 Prosecutors is going to be coming down and hitting something quite hard. It's gonna hurt. And they have a 3d6 charge as well. So when they come in outside of 9, it's actually quite reliable for them to get in. He's got Ionis Cryptborn, which is going to be giving you Stormcast Herpes, and then
Yeah.
the Storm
Which
Coven.
seems to like it's like real herpes where it like stays with you even after the person dies. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, that might have been too much. But
Neat list. Joseph's a good player too, so
it's
interested to see how
interesting.
he does.
I'm wondering if he's like a lore guy too. Cause like I'm seeing a lot of kind of stuff that it seems like, maybe someone who reads the books and whatnot. I don't read the Stormcast books as much. Although I did like Plague Garden pretty good. Anyway. Okay. Will we see another 5-0 in our hearts? And we've made a promise. I'm just going to remind you, Carson, in case you forget.
We will. Yep, I remember.
Okay. Then I don't need to say it. The wheel is back, and I will hopefully not forget to put it away. It is currently spinning, actually. What do we got? Chris Lemoy! Come on down!
The other Lemoy brother, Nighthaunt. What a jerk.
Yeah. What was Jeremy playing again?
Ossiarch Bone Reapers.
Oh, right. So death. They're both death. Cool.
Yep. It's Chris Lemoy.
Yes.
Remember to take the wheel down if you haven't already.
I did. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Chris Lemoy.
Didn't understand the assignment.
He clearly didn't understand the assignment.
Yep.
Now, Joseph was the other one who didn't understand the assignment, right?
Jeremy, his brother.
Jeremy, sorry. I meant to say Jeremy. Yeah.
I will say, communicating with the Lemoy brothers, it feels like you have to send a carrier pigeon sometimes. like they don't respond to Discord messages.
Okay.
So they're
noted.
They're in like some fiefdom in central Washington. Just
Okay.
Living.
I have an idea. Fair enough. Here's what I want you to do, Carson. I want you to find their address, okay, and send them like a handwritten letter. And either it's written in like really red lipstick, or it's cut out of magazines. No return address, of course, and just name, get on the name game or something like that. Something vaguely threatening about how they need to step up their name game in Age of Sigmar list naming. I think it's important, right?
Yeah.
I think we can
step it up.
Just step it up. Yep. Step it up. Like, come on, guys. You're embarrassing the entire Pacific Northwest. And I have it on good authority that anyone without a good name game will not be allowed on next year's team. So
every time you say name game, I just think of the song.
Good.
Name game, Judy, babooty, banana fanning, babooty.
Okay.
Anyway, the list.
Another Night Hunt list, also in Deathstalkers, which kind of proves that like changing it to just one unit is the perfect solution, right?
Yes, but also still 0 internal balance. Like there's no one taking anything else.
I know, but that's what I mean is you're saying like they didn't go far enough.
I don't know if they didn't go far enough. It just proves that the other ones are just not nearly as good as that still.
But that's like most, I don't know, most armies just don't have any good choices. And I feel like Deathstalkers is like, I think Deathstalkers is actually like what everyone should have, not like what they should take away from Nighthaunt, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. Something that fundamentally changes how the army plays.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, that would make sense. This list also has 40 Blade Geist Revenants, also has 15 Hex Rates, also has Ragnar the Grimhauler, also has Alrak the Drowner. The difference is that instead of Grimghast Reapers, he has Dread Scythe Harridans, which I believe get better at hitting you if you're damaged.
Yes, I think
if
that's right.
Something's wounded.
And if they charge, they make you -1 to wound.
Yeah. And then he's got a Scriptor Mortis, which has the same artifact and heroic trait that everyone else takes.
How did he change? He was so garbage before that no one took him. Is the only change is that now he's like 120 points, and so he fits in some lists that others don't?
It says exactly 2,000 points. The Scriptor Mortis is once per turn, end of your turn, roll a dice for each sentenced enemy unit on the battlefield on a 4-up, inflict an amount of mortal wounds equal to the current battle round. And then once per turn, your hero phase, pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches, roll a die on a 3-up. They are sentenced for the rest of the battle. That's not bad.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Interesting.
He has
the only
changed.
thing is that he has to be in combat to do Ruler of Spectral Hosts.
Right.
So,
but if you lose him, you're kind of like, well, whatever anyway. Like,
yeah,
he's great for sitting on the back line, but then if you get him in, then you can also probably just completely delete something. Yeah.
Yeah. But as long as he's alive, he'll just be like 2 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
3 mortal wounds.
3 mortal wounds.
4 mortal wounds.
4 mortal wounds. Yeah. And I mean, like, even like 1 or 2 mortal wounds in the early parts of the game could maybe make the difference to, you know, whether you wipe a unit, whether you do enough to, yeah.
It's also expanding outwards too, right? He's picking more and more units. So,
and I'm pretty sure it's anywhere on the battlefield. So,
no, it's 18 inches. But
he
for the can't do it turn 1.
Huh. Oh, okay.
Unless something weird happens, turn 1, I guess. But like,
that's interesting. Yeah. Wow. Okay. It used to be anywhere on the battlefield, but I know they're getting rid of a lot of mortal wound shenanigans, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
It's also on a 4-up, I think, that the mortal wounds happened.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not guaranteed. But still really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not bad. Oakley Dokley. We are moving on. And yeah. I need a better solution, but the wheel was just not being cooperative. It just would not fit in like a half tab. So we'll see. We'll figure out something for next time. Maybe. Or not. Or I won't change anything at all. I'll have to deal with putting it away each time. Oh, we got Alex Butler. We got the Butler. Okay.
Echoing in the distance, you can hear John Zoshak say,
yeah.
It's objectively the wrong choice.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to find, there we go. It has been removed. Alex Butler already at the top. His Deepkin list. So he's got Beastmasters. Oh, wait. Excuse me. The name is Spicy Tuna Roll Storm. And it's 1950 points. So it's a joke, obviously, on sushi, right?
Yes.
But there's no tuna in this list.
No. It'd be unagi, if anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then again, would it be unagi? Because unagi is freshwater eel.
That's true, but I believe eel are inverted from salmon, where the freshwater eels go out to sea to spawn. So there's something there.
So they'll still be in the sea.
I would here, like, I would call this unagi donburi, right? Donburi is the rice with like on a Yep. It's the unagi is the eels on a bed of rice, you know. But
let's just put a better name in the chat right now. Eel's bad, man.
Eel's bad.
Yeah.
God dang it, Keith. That's so good. Yeah. That's so good. And then it works also with Alex's comment right now that he doesn't like unagi. Wait, who doesn't like unagi though? Like, seriously.
Unagi is like my test roll, where if I go to a different city or something, and someone claims that their sushi restaurant is good, that's what I use as like the benchmark usually.
It's very good. It's very good. Also, albacore is a good one. You can really, that really separates the men from the boys, you know. But okay. What do you give it?
It's a mid-bin.
Mid-bin?
Yeah.
There's such a disconnect between this because it's not spicy, right?
How could it be? He's British.
That's true. Exactly. He's trying to be something he isn't. We'll say mid-bin. It's got a weird texture on my tongue. He hates it.
Fundamentally wrong.
Fundamentally
sure.
wrong. Yep.
Pat says I do the same thing with tortellini and Italian Carson. That's good to know. I should do that too.
Yes, we all should, because Pat is quite the expert on that. But I just want to say that Alex's last comment almost dropped the name into the lower bin for me. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. But he did understand the assignment, so that's
good.
He did.
Yeah.
He's much better than the Lemoy's. Sorry. I should be throwing them under the bus like that, but
It's okay.
yeah. No wizard makes it spicy. Fundamentally wrong. You've already proven that that's not true. Okay, fine. So we're moving right along. Volturnos, King of the Deep. He's just like a solid war scroll. He's just running around, smashing things, buffing units. He's pretty good. Ishli and Guard are like, I think, the best war scroll in the entire book. I wish I had more of them. I've just got mostly Morsar Guard, and I'm regretting it immensely. And the Morsar Guards still have a place, you know. And the Eidolon's giving +1 to wound, obviously, on just the riders. Armor of the Sithai is the one where the 6s to hit them don't do anything. And I can't remember what Ancient Pride is off the top of my head. I haven't made a list in a little while.
I think that one is no crits against you, isn't it?
No, that's Armor of the Sithai.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Our Ancient Pride, I think, maybe is the only out of 4 up you can be hit.
Right. Yes. Very good. They keep changing. Like, they've always had these names for those that have been around since AOS 1. They've literally had the same names on everything. And they just keep changing what they do. And so it's the conflation that gets me. Yeah. I mean, it's actually pretty standard, other than the fact that he is taking the Storm instead of, you know, I mean, he's taking the Leviathan too. I like the Leviathan, but I think if you're being objective, probably more Eels is the right choice. But you know, honestly, like, yeah, I get it. You know, he's already proven that it's good. So,
yeah, this is a Skipper's winning list. It's
right.
Obviously very good. It did very well for him. So,
yep, exactly.
You can be at -3 attacks, I think, if you are right.
So Ishlian,
bodyguard, honor guard rule. So maybe just -2 attacks.
-2,
and then if you are going into the, if you try to kill the aspect of the Storm, then it's like, good luck. You know, no crits to hit, which is huge for some armies. Like for Slaves, that's pretty backbreaking, just because you don't get your crit mortals into him.
Right.
And then only hitting on 4s is rough too. So,
and is it in melee Armor of the Sithai, or is it just in general?
To hit into him.
No, I know. No, but like if you so there's crit mortal wounds. Yeah. If you're shooting him, like, because like I have crit 2 hits with like my Rattling guns, for example, and that's why I was. By the way, Alex, I thought you were telling me to unmod you. Never.
It says, other than the companion weapon ability, weapon abilities for attacks that target this unit have no effect. So just weapon abilities in general. So you don't get charge +1 damage. You don't
Jeez
get crit to hit.
Louise.
You don't get.
And it doesn't say anything about melee either.
No.
God dang. It's so much better. It's so much better because it was like basically like if you do something special on a 6 before in 3rd edition, you don't get that anymore. And now it's like way better and it's way more powerful in this edition where everyone seems to have something on a 6. That's unbelievable. Cheese
charge
and
+1 damage is huge
crackers.
too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, no, this is amazing. This is incredible. Yeah. Good luck killing him. That's so good. That's so freaking good.
Yeah, my plan is kill literally everything else except him, and then
Yeah.
and then hope he doesn't kill me.
Right. Yeah. But good luck with the Ishliangar too, by the way. They're rocking a 5-up when they charge you, and they're making you -1 attack. It's just like, oh my god. Even if you charge them. Anyway, Alex is a good player, and that's a really good list. Yeah. Cool. Moving right along. Reminds me, I need to get more Ishlian painted. I'm always reminded of that whenever I see his list. Chrome. Boop. Okay. And then here we go. We're spinning again. The wheel is currently spinning.
While the wheel is spinning, feel free to give us a like, subscribe, leave
Thank
a
you.
comment down below.
Oh!
Appreciate you.
John Zoshak.
How fitting that he's just one behind Alex. Interesting. Got him.
Yep.
Got him.
Got him. Okay. John Sylvaneth. That's right, because he plays like all the elf factions, essentially, right? Yeah. Okay. God dang it. The name. And he. Okay. The name is Are We Out of the Woods? Taylor's version. I don't know. Carson, what are your thoughts? What are your initial thoughts?
I feel like this is a reference to a Taylor Swift song, but I don't know any Taylor Swift songs.
I don't either. I literally couldn't name you one Taylor Swift song. And what's funny is like I have friends that are, I have good friends that are very like music aficionados and they like Taylor Swift and have recommended that I listen to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But it's just not in the cards.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe there is a Taylor Swift concert coming up in Vancouver in December.
Okay. I think that's my initial reaction, by the way. It's definitely a reference to Taylor Swift, just because it says Taylor's version, like a version of a song, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and assume that it is a reference.
It's a nice pun, with Sylvaneth.
It's a solid pun. I think it's one of those things. I'm not really a pun guy as much, I like making them for people who enjoy them. But you know what but I'm not like.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say mid bin.
I'm going to savor saying this because John is my friend. I'm going to say lower bin. Do better.
I love the do better at the end
You
there.
have to understand your audience here, right?
That's true. That's true.
Dale isn't even coming to this tournament.
That's true.
He's the only other one that would understand this reference.
Is he a big Taylor fan?
He is. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So, yeah. Oh man.
Yep.
Well, there is that. You know what's funny though is there is an additional possible layer to this. So apparently there's like kind of a scandal with her right now because she's like campaigning for the environment, and then people took her private jet usage and measured it, and she was using the same amount of like carbon emissions as like the average like of like 600 people or something crazy. And so then
I'd be surprised if it wasn't more than that.
it might have been like 6,000. I actually don't remember what the actual what the actual numbers were. I just saw that as like mentioned on some, it's like a funny anecdote on like a comedy podcast or something like that. And so anyway, that'd be kind of funny if it was like some kind of an additional joke because this is the tree faction, and it's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I just typed into Google like
Yeah.
the Taylor Swift carbon footprint for 2023, and then there's what made me laugh was there's another result. It said people also ask how much CO2 does Taylor Swift emit in a year? Which is basically she as a person is just like unhinging her jaw and just.
I was thinking like a chimney, but yes, exactly.
Yeah.
How many beans does she eat? That's what I want to know. Yeah.
Wow. Methane emissions. Yeah.
They do harm to the environment. I'm just saying. Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, what was her average carbon emissions?
For
Inquiring minds, Carson. Jeez.
it
You
said
had like
in 2022,
okay.
8,300 tons of carbon emissions, and I'm gonna look at the average person.
I think it's not that much. Like I think it's like 1 or something, like less than 1.
About 4 tons.
Oh, wait, 4 tons, and she's what, 8,000?
8,300. Yeah, so just a little over 2,000 people worth of. Yeah. Not to mention, I'm sure there's like knock-on effects of like everyone
Right, going to that. That's not her problem, though. Like you can't put that on her. Yeah. Anyway, this is crazy off topic, but incredibly hilarious. John, if you are watching this and that was part of your brilliant plan, then it goes up a notch. It definitely goes up a notch. Yeah. Then it's upper bin probably for me. Yeah. Carson's shaking his head. Yeah. What's the annual carbon emissions of Carbson's mustache? Oh man. Are you talking about like just the mustache or the small country that his mustache reigns over in South America? Because those are two different things, right?
Yep. We don't talk about that live though. We don't mention that.
What?
Yep.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. I didn't
be.
remember. Yep.
All right, the actual list.
The actual.
So the big thing is that he is not actually running a L'Oreal, which is quite rare
Right.
for Sylvaneth lists right now.
Right.
Most of the time, it's a L'Oreal. One
She's
of
just
the
so
Crown
good.
Hunter units. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then, yeah. Instead, he's got a Warsong Revenant with Spellsinger and Seed of Rebirth. He's got the Great Bows, which are just solid shooting. They'll pick off your heroes. He's got a reinforced unit of Spite Rider Lancers, which are better on the charge. And then he's also got a reinforced unit of Revenant Seekers. So he's got 12 of like the flying bugs.
Yeah.
Which are just super fast. They can be going like 18 inches, I think, because Belthanos would allow them to run and charge. Sorry.
Nope. I'm enjoying it.
He's got tree revenants for teleporting around. Gossamer Archers is like a screen. And yeah, just seems like
honestly,
solid,
I actually think this list is kind of awesome. Yeah. Like, I guess what it doesn't have is recursion in Illyrio.
Yeah, once something dies, it's dead.
Right.
But whenever the things go in, they will hurt you pretty bad. Belthanos tends to hit a little bit like a wet noodle.
A little bit, you know, like he can surprise you. It depends on what you're expecting out of him, I suppose. But
it's swingy.
Yeah.
But I've seen him do like literally 0 damage before.
Yeah, well.
And yeah, it just seems he's definitely got the reach to hit you wherever you don't want to be hit, kind of thing. So interesting. And I think
and he can make other units give them the reach to hit you as well. Yeah. With
100%.
charge,
yeah.
So
I was saying the army as a whole has the reach. To,
I see. Got you. Yeah. And then outcasts. What are outcasts doing?
I think that's the control score one.
Oh, I think you're right. I was just helping a local team make lists. And so I was looking at Sylvaneth and for the team game coming up. And yeah, I like that. Honestly, I don't think that the Sylvaneth sub-factions are very good in general. I think they're all pretty poopy. So
yeah. And then either the Revenant Seekers or the Spite Rider Lancers, I think, get strike first when they charge. I think. Right. Or maybe it's on a 3-up or something.
I think it's the Lancers, right?
That would make sense. And I think the Seekers just have better recursion. Like
I think
they
so.
rally better, or maybe cause other people to rally better. Basically, this is just really fast. It's got a couple little neat tricks, and the bows are going to be shooting you from afar. And yeah, it's an honest list.
Yep.
No tricks.
No tricks up these sleeves because they're made out of wood. It's true. Okay. Whoops. And there. I got to do this in a specific sequence. There we go. I hope it's up. Okay, it is. And Alex Landicho. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Okay. And then there we got to take down the silly wheel. And then find, oh no, we don't have to find anything. He's right at the top because his name is Alex. Okay. He did name this list. Oh, wait.
What's up?
Is there a haiku below the name here?
Oh. In the wind. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I like that. Now, do we consider that as part of the name, or do we just appreciate it for what it is?
Oh my god.
Because it is after the 2,000 points out of 2,000 points.
Right. Well, I think that's something that just the Age of Sigmar app just stamps on the top right. So I think
I'm fine
honestly,
either way.
Yeah. I would say it's part of the name.
Okay.
To be honest, I think it actually loses points for having Alarial Monster Mash at the top there. I think the name should just be the haiku.
I agree. Yep.
And that's putting aside my innate bias against haiku in English. I think that they're nonsense. but they are a beloved form of poetry for some people. So I'm going to take my own internal bias out of it, right? He understands the assignment clearly.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
If honestly, and again, I have to get out of my own biases. If it was just the haiku, I would say upper bin. But I think this pulls it down to mid bin. Ludivicus says haiku 5 out of 5-0 in his heart. That's fair.
I think I agree with you. Where again, if it was just the haiku, upper bin for sure. But Alarial Monster Mash is really
name. Yeah.
That's a lower bin by itself, probably.
Yeah.
So I think mid bin as well.
What I've made up in my head canon though for Alex Landicho is that all of his lists have haiku that follow their names, which would be kind of awesome. But yes. Anyway, so we've got another Sylvaneth list, which is kind of funny. Outcasts again. I guess this is maybe the right choice. It's interesting. Alero the Everqueen, which is sort of ubiquitous, and a unit of Kurnoth Hunters, as you kind of alluded to earlier. 3 drops total, Belthanos, and Gossamer Archers, and then Spirit of Durthu with Spellsinger and Seed of Rebirth, and another unit of Gossamer Archers. It's not cookie cutter or anything close to it. It's interesting. The 3 drops is you're going to be outdropped anyway most of the time, I think. So... yeah, I'm not really sure, I think this is kind of hard. Yeah.
It's interesting because you're lowering your surface area of what you need to bring back recursion wise, because you can bring back Durthu or Belthanos with Alarial, which is really nice.
Yep.
Durthu slaps hard and he can go into combat and slap hard and then die, and then you bring him back on a 4-up is really nice.
Yep.
So I don't mind it. It's the list as a whole is low surface area though, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So it's it kind of maybe doesn't lean into the strengths that Sylvaneth tends to have, where it's like I have a toolbox that I can use at my discretion, and I don't have to engage with you if I don't want to. So on like spread maps, Sylvaneth tends to be really good because you can like be teleporting all over the place, and you have such a good. I mean, I guess you can kind of still do that here, but if you do so, you're maybe putting one of your really important pieces out of position, which sucks. So the great bow's a nice tool to have. You know, shooting with foot heroes would be really nice. But
they have the snipe rule. Is that it?
Yep.
So they basically can teleport and then snipe.
Yeah.
Cool. But they don't. If they don't charge, then they cannot teleport. Is that it? Or is it now? Is it just at the end?
Yeah, they have to fight.
You have to fight. Okay, that's what I thought.
Strike and fade.
Just strike and fade, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I like it. Like it quite a bit.
Me too.
Okay. Oops. Darn it. Okay, I went in the wrong order. The wheel is currently spinning. All hail. Whoops. Sorry, everyone. It is Matt Beasley. We might have lost some of the sound of the wheel spinning there for a second because I was trying to like get things done quicker, but as soon as I go over to another tab, it cuts off the sound for some reason. Okay. So there it is. Matt Beasley running the Skaven. Finally, he came over to the land and realm of the good people. Okay, nice. So he's gone with his traditional naming. What do you call it? Like way of doing things. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, his traditional. Dear sir, I hope this missive finds you well. Enclosed, please find the following selection of small miniatures representing rats. I like it. You know, like, and to be fair, we haven't had. This is like our first time officially reviewing that name format. The only reason we know about it is because he told us about it on the last one that he started doing this. So I'm going to give it an upper bin because like otherwise it's just kind of like, well, what's he going to be punished for being on? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Upper bin makes sense to me.
But next time, if it's named the same thing, then obviously it would move down to the mid bin. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the rule. If you use the same name, it just goes down one every time.
Yeah.
That we see it.
That's true. And even down into the didn't understand the assignment. And then it can keep dropping and we're going to start making up names. Just like FU or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make me kill you. Change the damn name. Right? Okay. This is interesting. So it's 2 drops. Forbidden Power. Warp Cog, of course, because, you know, it really is all about the shooting units now. He's got Thanquol on Bone Ripper, 360 points. Very good unit, right? And if I could just skip down to the Vermin Lord Warp Seer with the Foul Hide and Scurry Away. What? I'm just... No. I hear what you're... No, I understand what you think I'm going to say. And, I mean... I think it's obvious that I was right? But putting that aside, right? What I think is actually, that wasn't my intention, by the way. Straight up, I swear to God. What I was going to bring up was that a lot of people say you shouldn't bring Thanquol and the Warp Seer because they're kind of doing the same sort of thing. I don't agree with that, though. I actually think this is the right choice. And I like them both because they're both Master Clan. So they make great heads of units. You know what I mean? And that they're both. And then you've got just more spellcasting power. Like the Skaven have great spells, right? And there's no longer a cap on the amount of wounds. So you can actually Skitterleap Thanquol. So you can Skitterleap Thanquol from the Vermin Lord from the backboard. You know, do something else with the Vermin Lord, like poop out the bell or something like that, and then, you know, send Thanquol off to go poop out another spell somewhere else on the board. I think it's interesting. And then he's got 2 units of Clan Rats with Thanquol. A unit of Night Runners, which are really good for moving up the board. They're great for scoring early battle tactics because they get the pregame move. He's got a unit of Reinforced Ratlings because they are the best unit in the book by far. And then again, the Vermin Lord with the Foul Hide for healing, scurry away to get out of combat, so it makes him safe. Plague Monks, which is interesting, and I'm assuming because like, what are Plague Monks doing other than being a cheap screen? Because he's 2,000 points on the nose. I guess he just can't fit clan rats is basically the idea, right? But like, I don't know.
Have like the stick up.
They do.
Ping you back or whatever.
Yep, they do.
Yeah.
But 140 points for like 10 wounds on a 6-up is like, you know what I mean?
I suspect that was the last pick in this
Yes,
list.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But I was just kind of thinking maybe like a unit of... I can't come up with their name. Doomflayers might be better because they're 10 points less and like they're just fast and mobile and they'll just grind up like infantry units, just even 2 of them. Like you just get like a decent roll. They're very random, so maybe that's what Matt is leaning away from, even though he's playing Skaven. Anyway, he's got another unit, another Rattling Gun unit. I think it's a great list. I think it's just solid, warp cog kind of stuff.
I agree. The only thing is I think that he is like desperately trying to not play 3 packs of weapons teams.
Rattling guns? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Just because like some of the lists that we've seen do fairly well or that have kind of come out of the woodworks have had the 3.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised that he isn't trying out 3 for a tournament, but maybe I don't know. Like I kind of feel connected at this level because at the beginning of the edition I was like, I'm not going to spam gluttons. And I feel like he's maybe doing the same thing.
Because they're going to get changed. No.
Yeah.
They're going to get changed. I think that's a good idea. Like, so what you paint, like 18, and then they inevitably get nerfed, at some point. Hopefully they lower other things because otherwise this book is dead. But like, yeah, I think that's something that is going to happen, like, anyway, putting all that aside, I kind of wonder if, because he's got a unit of Reinforced Night Runners, and they do have that pregame move, right? So I'm wondering if they're just like a screen that moves up the middle of the board and not the side is kind of my initial thought. Because if he'd put them, I kind of think that maybe the Night Runners should be split up and be put into the Verminlord Warp Seers regiment, because that way you could do either. You could have 2 units in the middle of the board, you know what I mean, that are moving up. I think more units are just kind of better in this edition right now too, as long as you're not making more drops. And then you can put them on the side if you know that you want to do that, you know what I mean? Or you can put them in the middle, and that way it gives you the option of either one. And then you kind of don't even need the Plague Monks, but it's interesting. I actually kind of want to talk to Matt about this list and like what his ideas off the show, like not so I don't, give away any of his sort of tricks that he's, but it's very interesting. Yeah. What I say, Sean? I'm sorry. Acers is what I called my tree list. What's wrong with that? Oh, hazy Acers. What's wrong with that? I don't understand. Did you use it twice? My comment wasn't at your name. It was at Rob's making excess use of the word right. Yes, I'm sorry. I don't know. What, I actually have no idea what I said. Moving right along. No, I think it's a really good list, and best luck to Matt at the tournament. Okay, poop, and there, and here. What I say? I like hazy acres. Oh, that's a great name. I didn't say anything about your list name, Sean. I love you, buddy. No, nothing there. Okay. I've got to find this bloody wheel. Okay. There it is. I'm just going to say right a bunch more times, too. It is currently spinning. Right. Indeed. Alexander Frias, I believe is how you pronounce his last name.
Indeed.
I'm hoping to get Brent's like name. He's not coming up, but
I
most.
think Alexander's in the chat. I saw him there earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hope so. Okay. Oh, a member of the Corsairs.
Indeed. I think that's a 5-0, I think. I think that was a good one. My favorite, I think, that we've seen tonight.
Oh, man.
Should I say that closer to the mic? I think that's a 5-0.
So the name of the list is Carson is Beautiful. Now, no one's going to disagree with that majestic mustache.
Yeah, that's true. Keith says someone really doesn't want Carson to win. If we get paired together, it's just an auto loss.
Oh, wow. That's true. Yeah. He understands the magic, the lore.
Yeah.
I will say beautiful is not capitalized because it's the name of a list. I think it should be capitalized. What about this? Okay. What if it was like the song? Carson is beautiful, no matter what they say. No.
I think it's just a statement. You know?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Words can't bring you down, you might say, as well.
Some they do say that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, dang it. This is so freaking meta within naming lists and getting. Oh man. Did Alexander say like? Was he one of the ones who said earlier? I named. No, that was Matthew.
Devin.
Oh, well, I think Matthew also said that they named it for you, right? Oh no, Devin's the one I'm thinking of. You're right.
Yeah.
This one is. He understood the assignment too well, frankly. Yeah.
Yeah. This one is just like you just hand in a test that just has your phone number on it,
right?
And a winky face, and you're just betting on whether or not the teacher is going to bite.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Could be an A+, could be an F. You could get expelled. You never know.
What I'm hearing is this is collusion and should be disqualified.
And what I'm hearing is you should hear him out.
Okay.
It's a great name, and it's a 5-0.
Okay. Right? Okay. So let's split the difference and say lower bin, right?
That's not a splitting the difference. That'd be mid bin.
No, because mid bin would be if it was like didn't understand the assignment, but disqualified is definitely below didn't understand the assignment. We're not like tossing it out, right?
I agree to disagree.
Mid bin for brown nosing. Keith said it best. And not capitalizing beautiful. Or making it into a song. If you made it into a song, if it was Carson is beautiful, no matter what they say, and words can't bring me down. Or especially if you'd be like down, or something like that. Absolutely 5-0 in my heart. Better luck next time. Moving right along. It is a Blades of Corn list. Cornate Legion. I don't know what that does.
I know what it does.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the prayer lore Blood Blessings of Corn is probably the Corn prayers.
Probably. So Cornate Legion is you can pick a friendly bloodbound unit, so one of the mortal units that is not used to fight ability. You basically chain activate with a Corn demon unit, essentially. So that the demon unit fights, then you can pick a bloodbound unit to fight as well.
Oh, right. Yeah, this is actually one of the more popular ones and the one that Andy was using, and I just forgot about it, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right
then he's got the manifestation lore is actually kind of it's not great.
I don't know, but like what? But there's no other choice.
No, there's no other choice.
Yeah,
it's just they're probably not using any of these. Their own prayers are good enough to be using every time.
Yeah.
Then he's got Scarbrand, which is definitely a beat stick.
No kidding. Yeah.
It's got a 3d6 charge, which is real nice. He's got some Blood Warriors, which are just a really good anvil, and they still have their murder rolls back at you.
Yep.
He's got the Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury. which
Right.
has the Relentless Hunger and Argath, King of Blades, which I think shuts off a ward for a hero that he's in combat with. So it's not just shutting off wards in combat anymore. And then the Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury is undoubtedly going to be giving itself a 3d6 charge. So basically, he's got like 2 big scaries that are going to be 3d6 charging at you and doing a lot of damage.
Well, and he does have the Skull Takers there too. And I know it's only a unit of 5, right?
I think you're thinking of Skull Reapers. Skull
I am.
Takers.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, Skull Taker is just a foot hero.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
And I did miss that, Pat. Pat was right. Wounds can't bring you down. Would have been better. Yeah.
Yep. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Relentless Hunger gives you a blood tithe at the start of the battle, which is really nice because if someone takes the first turn against you, you can still Murder Lust to prevent their Alpha Strike. He's got 2 units of Flesh Hounds, which are just goober units that he hopes dies, basically.
Yeah.
And then he's got Claws of Karanak, which is going to have a pregame move. So, yeah, the only thing I think about this list is that it does have literally 2 hammers.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
So
right.
It's going to be... He can bring back the Bloodthirster with 8 Blood Tithe, but I actually don't know that there's enough units in this list. I don't know. It's interesting.
It's got a lot of little units though, so you're going to be racking up those blood tithe points, and the Flesh Hounds are quite mobile and they hit decently hard.
Yeah, there's 9 total units in this list.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot. 3 drops.
Yeah, 3 drops is a little rough. Then again, Khorne probably cares less. The only thing is that this list
Khorne cares not.
Yeah, Khorne cares not. This list will hate going into anything with shooting.
Yeah, for sure. Sure will.
If they're shooting, it's just going to be like, boop, I'm going to smack one of your 2 hammers, basically, and then that's it. It's going to be a rough time.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 5-up ward, though, on the Bloodthirsters, and a decent amount of wounds.
Yeah.
It'll kind of depend on, the quality of the shooting, I think. Rattling guns will probably be quite happy.
Rattling guns, sentinels, even chip damage with the
long strikes,
the catapult. Long strikes will mess these up. It'll hurt.
Yeah, good solid rend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
And we rend 3 because they're heroes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
What?
They might just kill them.
Wait, what? When did they always have that?
Anti-hero +1 rend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this edition, obviously. They didn't have it last edition. But they had more last edition.
Yeah.
What? I did not remember that. Those things are so good.
Yeah.
My God. Why did they nerf Gisele's? Okay, moving right along. I'm just going to get bitter. I'm going to turn into bitter Rob. They need to reverse the changes to Gisele. Okay. Coolest. Good luck to Alexander. And
yeah, the combination of him naming his list that and me also kind of poo-pooing on it a tiny bit, I'm definitely going to lose to that list specifically. I
won't say I hope so,
yes,
right? Obviously, but it is in fact guaranteed though. Okay, the wheel is currently spinning. I hope I brought it up. Yeah, I did. Okay, and it is Derek Erlenbush. Okay, so I think we can do one more list after this, and then we have a special list that we need to talk about, right? So, okay, get out wheel. Okay, it was Derek. There he is. He's actually already on the screen. Okay, so, his name's Elmstrom. I didn't actually. I think I read it like an R.
Erlenbush as well. There's a Derek Elmstrom and a Derek Erlenbush.
Oh, so I just brought up the wrong list. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy, actually. I'm glad it's not another Stormcast list. No offense to the other Derek. But, it's nice to see a little variety. KO, we're just not seeing them lately. Derek Erlenbush, though, we need to have a chat about your name. It just says KO here, my friend. How are we supposed to... Yeah, what Carson said. Didn't understand the assignment. I'm moving right along. You're out, chums. Have a good night, BV. Thanks for joining us. Okay. So, KO. I don't know anything. I'm so little interested. Like I was. It's fun. I was just to be clear. I just pointed out that I am super glad, and I like that KO is here. I just have no interest in playing them. So yeah, I'm gonna have to rely on you, Carson, 100%.
I'm not super sure on the specifics. He has brought 35 Thunderers.
My God,
Just quite a lot.
35.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wait, does he have any? Oh, he has an ironclad. Okay, it was buried between the units.
Right.
So he's got an ironclad, which I assume he's going to be taking the upgrade that allows him to like carry more of his army forward.
Right. Right.
But
Does he pick that at the start of the game?
yeah.
Cool.
Then he's got an engine master with engine harness and Brock. Oh, and engine riggers. Okay. And this list is basically going to be like just a ball around the ironclad. And that's
Right.
it. Right?
Right.
Like you're going to, it's going to move forward, plop out those dudes. They're going to shoot the crap out of whatever's in front of them. And then you're going to walk forward towards them. He's going to redeploy, in which case he can pick up all of the stuff and put them behind the boat.
Yep.
And the reason why that can be kind of devastating is because if you're not going around the sides, if you're going head on, you have to be basically... So he pops up the Thunderers 6 inches away from the boat, wholly within 6, right? Then you have to be outside of 3 of the Thunderers, which means you're effectively just outside of 9 inches of the boat.
Right.
Then what happens is he redeploys the boat. The boat can pick up all of the Thunderers.
Yep.
Which means even if he rolls a 1, then he's redeploying
Like
to 10 inches away from you.
Yeah, I was gonna say 9. I thought it was gonna be 9. I've done zero math on that, obviously.
Yeah.
Insane.
And he might have the thing where it's like minimum redeploy of 4, in which case he's 13 inches away from you, minimum.
Jeez.
So that's the scary thing about this list, is that it's going to shoot the crap out of you. If you don't countercharge and tie it up in any way, then it's just going to see ya, like bye. And you probably won't be able to catch it very well unless you're extremely fast, like Alex's eels or something. However, this list is going to be in one spot for the entire game.
Yeah.
It cannot split up, right? It
Yep.
has no maybe it sends engine riggers to like one other point, but otherwise everything in this list has to be near the ironclad.
Right.
Which means it's covering like 1, maybe 2 points, and that's it. So that's the downside, essentially.
So basically, I'm assuming that the strategy for most people who are doing this kind of thing are kill, and then, hopefully you win, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because it's like, it feels like KO is also another army where they struggle making them fun and fair. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, I can't think of a time when KO felt like just a normal army that wasn't either cancerous or, or sometimes both, or bad, It's like the only way to play them is just to be super annoying, But actually, Will Reeves, a clubmate of ours, does a good job of running very different KO lists and stuff like that. So
Yep.
But
he usually runs like hyper aggressive
melee
assault
lists.
frigates.
Yeah, and but it's just like, it feels like they kind of push people in this direction with KO. So it's too bad. Keith says, Rob, what do you have against Street Fighter fans? It's not a Street Fighter list. It's not that because it doesn't say KO, you win. Okay? Now, who's teaching who? When you have Warp Cog Rattlings. To be fair, Rob, why play KO? I mean, why ever play KO is my immediate response. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not a dwarf guy. I'm a Skaven guy, and they are our mortal enemies. So, yes. Still within rattling range. That's true. Yep, absolutely.
Well, the boat is within rattling range.
Yeah.
They will not be.
That's true. They won't be, but having said that, if you just nuke the boat, then you're
Oh yeah, then
right.
you just win.
Yeah, you just win. Exactly. Okay. Now, did I say one more list after this, or did I say this is the last list before?
I think one more list after this, and then we move on to the last thing.
Cool. And the wheel is spinning. Spinning is the wheel. I went past Brent. Chris Brentley.
Maggotkin of Noble.
Nice. I do like to see Maggotkin. Maggotkin. Okay. I have a question about this name. What is a Tourne? Does anyone in the chat know? While Carson's Googling.
Medieval English practice. A Tourne was a biannual inspection and court of record held by a sheriff in medieval England. In medieval England, the sheriff would preside over the 100 court meetings at Easter and Michaelmas. The Sheriff's Act of 1887 abolished the Tourne. I don't understand what that is. It's a circuit or turn of an English sheriff to hold court of record twice a year. Okay. I don't understand.
Oh! Okay. I guess it's tournament. Turn. Yeah.
It's probably not referencing. Yeah.
A medieval English thing. Yeah. Oh, man. Pat said it too. Pat literally just said it. Turn equals tournament? Yes. We are dumb.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Didn't understand these.
Been an age since I attended a good turn. Oh, man. That's too funny, though. I'm glad that happened. Yeah.
Like, wow, this guy is really brushed up on his medieval English law.
Yeah, because like even after reading or listening to that, I'm still not really sure, about. Like I think I would still struggle to use the word "turn" in the sentence.
Yeah, it's not a word you probably ever use because apparently it was abolished in the late 1800s. So.
Well, thank goodness for that. So yeah.
The world's a better place for it.
Yeah. Occam's razor.
Right.
Okay.
Bottom. Or it's not even bottom. I think this is not. Didn't understand.
No, they didn't understand the assignment. Yeah. And neither did we, apparently. Okay.
Okay. He's got a great unclean one for the recursion. The same.
Sorry, 1 second. Keith says, I really hope Chris is watching it and just had an, oh my God, someone gets it. That's so funny. That's so funny.
Thank God. Yeah.
Thank God someone knows what a turn is.
Yeah. Okay, so the biggest thing with this list is that it's got a great unclean one for the recursion and whatnot. And it's got 20 Blight Kings that it's just going to put in the center of the table and say, what can you do about this?
Right.
And some people are going to say, I can't do anything about that, and I can't move you off those objectives. Feast of Blades is a relatively dense objective tournament. Like, we've got shifting objectives, which is just 3 in the center. We've got the Vice, which ends up in just 1 objective at the center of the table. We've got Border War, which is just the standard 2 and 1 like that. And we've got Jaws of Calais, which can be made into a dense one because you're getting rid of objectives. And then lastly, there's Scorched Earth, which is like the most spread you can possibly be.
The only one, right? Yeah, that's true.
8 objectives. So this one, it could do fairly well at this tournament just because there's a lot of dense maps. But I think it's going to struggle to deal like any damage to you at all.
That is kind of the issue with... Doesn't Orgots do decent damage?
That's true. Yeah, actually, I guess Orgots and the Great and Clean one can be dealing some.
And the Blight Lords like throw out a lot of attacks, right? Or at least they did traditionally.
Yeah. They're 3 attacks each, I think.
I guess it's
Threes
that
run 1/1 damage, but yeah.
but it's more control based, hey? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You like the Blight Kings are not going to be really fighting you on their terms, or rather,
No.
they're going to be standing on an objective, and you're going to charge into them, so you get the first swing for sure.
Right.
They're almost never fighting you at full strength,
Right.
and then they're almost always all out defensing.
Right.
So it's basically going to be they'll probably get 5-6 damage through on something.
What's their save now?
It's a 3-up save, so they're
That's
tough.
what I thought. Wow. Yeah, they're real tough.
3-up, 5-up, so they're super
Sheesh.
tough. But it's like still, yeah.
I think this is a cool list, though.
It's neat. Yeah,
And it does have the Kron spine.
that's true.
So
that's another hammer. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it can be a little bit of a wet noodle sometimes too. But by the way, Ludificus says if I ever get a list read on here, I'm totally just smashing together random words with vague historical references for the giggles. Yeah, and then hopefully it's something like turn where it's like it's tournament. Duh. Of course that's what it is.
No.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And then Ludivicus can tell us what it's really about. Okay. So now we don't need to come up. I don't need to bring back the wheel. The final one, and I haven't seen this ahead of time, is our good friend Kenrick. And I'm not looking at the name. Do you have it up?
Either.
Okay.
I have it up. I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. God dang it. Oh my God.
Got a snort for me.
Yeah. Yeah. This is an easy 5-0 in my heart. I have to say it. Yeah. Like it's not even. Yeah. I don't know if y'all can hear me clapping, or if it's going to be cut out.
Read it out loud.
Okay, so. Oh, did we not read it already?
No.
Okay, before I do, I would just like to point out that Holly hates it.
Hates. That's my dog.
Hates it.
Yeah.
Yes, that is his dog. But I think that's another point in its favor. The name of the list is Fart Vast Nocturnals. God damn it. I almost couldn't even get through just reading it out loud as I started to laugh. That is one of the better names I've actually ever encountered for a list.
He said he was trying to compete with Poopcast, which I think blows it out of the water.
Yeah. It just, completely blows it out of the water. Which sounds like a toilet joke, but
and it is. Yeah.
It is. Okay, fair enough. Yes, that's true. That's absolutely true. The only sad thing is that he's not here. He was like, I'm going to try and join by the end of it. And I'm sorry that you missed our reaction, our honest and true reaction. I totally misunderstood what he was saying before too. Like at one point I thought he told us the name ahead of time that it was Poopcast. And I was like, well, you're kind of spoiling it, No. But no, clearly not. Fart Vast Nocturnals. God dang it. We need a new convention. This isn't just 5-0 in my heart. This is the best name I think I've ever heard.
This is the world champion.
This is the world champion of names.
Yeah.
And like honestly, and I'm saying this like to be totally honest, like obviously I have a monumental amount of bias to overcome. You know what I mean? And I have to like take that and like put it aside and just go like, I don't care how many points I minus from that. It's still the best name I've ever heard.
What makes this better for me is that, so a while back, like I think the night before I went to one of Dale's like garden hammer things, my niece and I were making like custom pins with like this little machine that she got.
Cool.
And we made this one that just said fart enjoyer on it.
Damn it.
I gave that one to Kenrick, and he put it on his bag, and it's just on his bag at all times. So the fact that his list is named this and that.
Oh man,
it's perfect.
Oh, it is so perfect. It's a work of art. This name is a work of art. I like to deduct points for Vanguard Raptors, but 5-0 for the name. That's a perfectly fair thing to say. There will be no...
one of those pins. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. There will be no deduction for Mr. FVN. That's another pin that you need to make for him.
Yeah.
FVN. Just like, what does FVN stand for? You know?
If you know, you know.
Exactly. Oh, man. Well, what a great note to end it on. If I would have known, I would have been like, you got to watch till the end, everyone. Stick around for Kenrick's name, right? Yeah. That is the name to beat. Yeah. Okay. We do have a battle report coming on Thursday. If you made it this far and you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing, liking, doing all that jazz. It helps other people find the channel. We really do appreciate it. And I'm not just saying that because it's the spiel that you normally give. The spiel that I normally give is much more different than that anyway. And it will be found at the beginning of battle reports in which I am playing on. But moving right along from that, do you have anything to add before we call it a night? Okay.
Nope, I'm good. Thank you, though.
My pleasure. Thank you to everyone for watching. The comments were hilarious as usual. Sorry, I forgot to put down the wheel a couple of times, but thank you for sticking with us. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.